I think all of the C9 players are doing really well. People say they're lacking individual skill, but are good in team fights, but I think they're really amazing, like, individual players. You get so much good practice playing against C9. They're just all really good, and they play really well together.
Welcome back to the 2014 North American LCS Spring Split. We're just moments away from the showdown between the top two teams in the league, Team Solo Mid versus Cloud9. First, I'd like to welcome Counterlogic Gaming's deadly duo to the desk, Doublelift and Aframu, Rush Hour. Yep. How you guys doing?
Doing well.
Great.
So tell me your thoughts coming into that match. How do you feel coming into the game against Coast?
I felt really confident because even though we lost versus XCG, I felt like they didn't really beat us. We just kind of beat ourselves through really bad decision making. But we kind of went over it, and we got over those little like bumps that we had against XCG, and we thought that if we played just as well against Coast, it should be no problem.
Afra, how do you feel like you guys did in this game?
In this game, I felt very comfortable in lane, and I felt like everyone was confident after our team meeting discussion with Monty before and after this game. So It was really good.
Everything go according to plan?
Yes.
All right. So what was your plan then coming into this? What were you trying to accomplish?
Our plan this game was really rotational based, where we just have to go even in bottom lane, and the solo lanes have to keep Coast's assassin, they like to play assassins.
Yeah.
Just go even in lane 2, and just have Elise try and counter gank the Wukong wherever he's going to go and apply pressure, and that way we can get one tower in one lane, and then they can start rotating throughout the map, and then we can start grouping with our poke comp with Ziggs and just win the game after that.
Cool. So I know one thing you guys talked about in the preseason, before the season really started, you said that CLG can now carry from the bottom lane because Sport's getting more gold. Doublelift, you always say that you're going to carry a game anyway. How have you guys felt like? Have you been carrying from the duo lane here?
Recently, yes.
Recently, yes.
Yes. Recently, yes. Only because now we're more coordinated with the jungle where we walk together to get vision control, so it's not as scary bottom. And normally I feel super pressured when we don't have any vision control, and usually we lose the 2v2 all-ins or something random happens and we die. But right now I'm just in a really comfortable place, and the only way to go is forward. So.
Okay, well, that's good. You guys are doing pretty well so far. Now, Doublelift, we have a replay. One of two we're going to show here, and this is you saving, I believe it's saving Link. He gets jumped over the dragon wall here.
Oh, I saved Chowster because he gets... Oh, I saved Link here. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Link just got caught. His first immediate response was, "Hey guys, I'm dead." And I'm like, no, just come down. That's cool. Because I know what's going to happen right here. Leona's going to eat him, and what always happens is, like, oh, she actually throws her ulti right here. But if she had E'd, I would have just knocked her away, like, after she was done E'ing, and there was no way that Link really could have died. And I just blocked the ace in the hole. It's really easy. It wasn't really that great of a play, to be honest. I just kind of blocked ace in the hole and E'd the Leona. I feel like I don't know, Coast just really likes getting picks. That's their style. You can always guess, like, if one of your teammates is in their jungle or in river or something, they're looking at you and they're looking to kill you. Okay. They don't make, like, team-wide rotations or anything like that. They generally just have Shifter, like, roam, or they have their jungle, like, look to make picks and just get kills, and then they'll look for the objective, like, after.
Yeah.
So, yeah, a little bit of a misstep by us, but it was a pretty clean game overall, except I played really bad.
So tell me about this, because you said they're a team that looks for picks, and they found a couple of them on you. What happened?
Yeah. Well, the first one, they 3v1 dove us, and I knew it was coming. I'm like, Shifter's coming. Everyone knew that Katarina was coming to die bottom. That's just what he does on Katarina. That's his kind of like signature move, is Shifter really loves to roam. And so we knew it was coming. We said, Link, just hide. Come counter gank this after they dive us, and I died. But it's totally fine because we got 3 kills out of it, and that set them really far behind bottom lane. And I ended up actually getting a kill out of it, too, so I didn't even fall behind. Oh, wow. And the other times that I died, I just played really bad and got hit by like a trap or like a Leona ulti or something. And yeah, I was just really sad when I died.
What's that?
Oops.
Yeah, oops.
Just the oops. Okay, so after we have another replay up. It's the big Baron fight where you win kind of a 3v5. Get that up on your screen. Tell me what happens here.
Honestly, here we died bottom lane after Peter got caught, and we were like, we have to stop this Baron. So Nien's super far ahead, super strong, and we're like, okay, go instantly on the cat. We can kill him instantly, and then go on with Fujin right here. And Nien's just so far ahead top lane from farming, we just rolled him over after the fight.
So you just basically focus the right targets, and then we have more health bars than you?
Yep.
Yeah, the most important thing here was to just get their 2 primary DPS off, which was Wiz. As soon as you go on Caitlyn, he's not going to be hitting the Baron, which means they're just taking Baron for free, and Wiz died, and then you just kill Shifter too. He's the reset like potential that might lose you the fight, and then there's just these 3 useless tanks walking around. It was really easy to clean up after this.
When you were alone in the Baron pit, were you afraid that like it's going to kill you, or were you just like, I know Chowster's going to come over, I can flash over the wall if I need to?
Yeah, actually I had flash right here, and I was thinking about flashing over because Afro had just went ham on the Wukong, and I was like, if Wukong's dead, they don't have smite. But in the end, Chowster's like, hey, I'm here tanking Baron with you, so, you know, that's that Chalice synergy, dude.
Chalice synergy is back.
Yeah, it's back.
How's it been playing with that lineup again?
Chester is
overall?
amazing, dude. I really like playing with Chester. Obviously, he's more like, he's a friend first, and then he's a teammate second. Like, I really like just hanging out with him and talking to him. And obviously, he's an amazing player. Like, he's played really well throughout this whole time. He provides, like, really good analysis. And another shout-out for Monty, because he really helps us, like, get our shit together for, sorry.
That's fine.
For these games, we really need him to like drill into us like when to ward, how to ward, stuff like that. Just really basic stuff, or else we just kind of fall apart.
I'm glad that you guys are still learning the basics here in the LCS. Good job, guys. Now, Aframu. All right, next matchup, C9 versus TSM. Where's your money lie?
C9. C9 is just really good at
Crowd doesn't
objective
like you.
control, and I do think that C9 has the better lanes.
Double?
Yeah, C9 too. Not for reasons why people might think. I think Balls is a monster. I talked to Nien about how it is to lane against Balls, and apparently he's just gotten progressively better and better and better. Whereas, you know, people's perception about Darius is he's just kind of stagnant. He's good, but he's not like spectacular. So Balls is now actually just carrying his team on his back, and I expect that to happen again.
All right, well, guys, thank you very much for your time. Congratulations on your win. We'll see you, of course, next week, and maybe you can keep your winning streak going. Guys, we got the game going on. Let's send it back over to Riv and Jat for the call for the battle for first place.
Thank you very much, Freak. And it is finally time for our game of the day. First place team Solo Mid versus first place Cloud9.
Yeah, with all the hype and excitement for this game, if it lives up to even a little bit of it, it's going to be pretty great. Decides first place. Yep. Remember, though, Cloud9 has won 8 straight against TSM. And no one in NA has been this close to Cloud9 in the wild. I think
the fans have. And, of course, we've got to talk about Bjergsen coming into this match, Chat.
Yeah, Bjergsen has won the MVP in both weeks. He's kind of rightfully titled the Burger King at this point. He's consistent, and he's been deadly. He is leading the NA LCS in kills, despite only having 1 or 2 kills yesterday.
Yep, and aside from their little hiccup against Dignitas, Cloud9 has looked untouchable, to say the least. They were brilliant in their 2 wins yesterday, and they're the ones with the 3-game week too. So
yeah, it's the big third game. They're trying to go 3-0, and Meteos was on fire yesterday. He leads the NALCS in kill participation percentage as well, 84% kill participation. Also, his map coverage has been excellent. You can see 5-0 and 31 on Lee Sin in just 2 games. A ridiculous scoreline. He can engage the fights and also get out before anyone can focus him down.
And Jet, these are the clear-cut powers of the NALCS right now. Everybody's looking forward to this matchup, but people are still kind of scratching their heads how a little Yordle named Teemo could have impacted their first meeting so much.
Surprise picks are always annoying to deal with because it really tests your ability to adapt and adjust to the game.
Teemo coming out of nowhere, and he gets him with the mushroom.
When people know what to expect, they kind of follow the flow of the game and they're really relaxed. But when they see something like Teemo, they don't know what to do anymore.
And even if you know what the champion does, it's so long since you've played against him in lane that it can unsurprising damage. Teemo with his Q burst and then like a shroom, it's a lot of damage that you just don't expect.
It's kind of hard to adjust against that because against Teemo, he was actually not that strong, but we were so scared of the shrooms. So sometimes a slightly weaker pick can be a big surprise.
It can force you to play more passive, and that's a bad thing actually. If you're not making aggressive moves, you're always reacting to plays. You're not being proactive.
That's exactly when solo queue comes into play, because there's so many more champions played in solo queue, you actually get to experience these unconventional picks. As long as you don't let it get in your head, you should be able to take advantage of those kind of champions' weaknesses.
And I love the point from Bjergsen. The slightly weaker pick can still have an impact.
Yeah, as long as you do or do not know how to play against it, it makes all of the difference.
Yep. So as the teams make their final preparations, let's send it down to Kobe, who's standing by with TSM's coach and owner.
All right, thank you guys. I'm here with Reginald, the owner of TSM. First question, I have to say, Reginald, your entire team seems to be sick. What are you doing to help the health of your team right now?
I'm staying away from them, first of all. So it's like, it's the complaint like, Audwin, you're sick. Stay in that corner, stay away from the guys, don't get the other guys sick. And essentially he got everyone in the house sick, and Xpecial's the only one that's not sick. He's like, I don't know what these guys are talking about. I feel fine. And so everyone else is sick, I'm sick. We're just recovering, and we're staying away from the sick guys.
So you're just quarantining off anyone who gets sick. That sounds like a great strategy. In our game coming up, though, have you prepared any special strategies for Cloud9? Because it seems like you guys may be brewing a bit of a heated rivalry here.
So we haven't really had a good record against C9 so far, but we're really focusing on the results of the season. We're just taking every match one at a time and just focusing on our overall play. And so anyways, it's the same thing. We're going in like it's every other match. And once it gets to playoffs, we're going to be designing specific strategies for each team. But for now, it's just the same.
Okay, so have you guys developed any like rituals before matches, like they do the same thing over, or you deliver them any inspirational words?
So, I mean, I tell each person different things specifically, but overall, I'm like, don't lose. If you don't lose, you're going to win. I tell Special to focus on his engages. I tell Turtle, don't flash in, because if you watch Turtle play, he always flashes in for the kill, and he always gets caught. That was last season, though. He's in a lot better now. So I'm like, just hit the closest target. You're the AD carry. And Bjergsen, I'm like, just win. And then for Odd One, I'm like, really, you guys shouldn't be afraid to lose. You know, this is a match. Just take it as a learning experience and really just focusing on improving. And don't be scared. Don't play like a weenie. And don't play too ham either, because I don't want them to play too aggressive, but not too passive. Yeah.
All right, some top-notch coaching from Reginald. If you don't lose, you will win. Now, final question. I'm sure pretty much everybody here knows. We do have to ask you for the predictions for this next match that's coming up. Pretty sure everybody knows what team that you're going to vote for in the upcoming match, but do you want to give the crowd a little hint what team you think is going to win?
Come on, guys. TSM, let's go! TSM!
As expected. Pretty much expected that one. Now let's send it back up to the guys on the desk and we'll get this one started.
Thank you very much, Kobe. And if they don't lose, apparently they're going to win.
That's how most games go.
All right, let's see what happens. We're going to check out the starting lineups on the blue side. It's Team Solo mid. Dyrus in the top lane, Odd One in the jungle, Bjergsen in mid lane, your two-time MVP, Wild Turtle at AD carry, and Special on support.
And a team never to be underestimated on the red side. It is the reigning NALCS champions, Cloud9. Balls in the top lane, Meteos in the jungle, High in the mid lane, Sneaky on AD, and of course Lemon Nation on support.
Now, we take a look at our featured matchup of the day in this game, the Rumble in the jungle between Team Solo's mid's Odd One and Cloud9's Meteos.
Yeah, we actually realized that neither of these guys have been killed so far this weekend. The Odd One has had mostly a supportive jungling style so far in his career. With Bjergsen, has just taken his game to a completely new level. He has been a new player this season, it really seems, which is crazy considering he's been around since the start, one of the few remaining veterans in the LCS. Of course, Meteos on the other side is still pretty new and still pretty awesome at the jungle. His KDA is always at the top. His kill participation is higher than any other jungler. He is the catalyst for almost everything that happens on the Cloud9 team, and this is definitely the marquee jungle matchup.
And really amazing amount of assists coming in on Lee Sin. To look back at Odd One as well, it's great to see that, because we see all of these see all of these longtime players stepping down. They've kind of, the passion isn't there anymore. They feel like there's a better peak player to hit them. But to see Odd One come back into that after being one of those longtime players is great, especially for fans of TSM and for the team.
Yeah, and I mean, every lane in this matchup has so much story behind it as well. I mean, it's obviously the Odd One, Meteos, kind of old versus new guard in North America.
Yep.
Dyrus, we just heard Doublelift talking about how Nyen talks about balls and Dyrus, how Dyrus has always been strong, but sometimes he's stagnant. Maybe he hasn't improved his game too much. Whereas Balls, he may be the MVP this week. He has played 2 amazing games thus far, and if he can beat TSM, it's going to be impressive.
The impact these top laners have is almost more than any other team, and they do it so well. Kha'Zix, Kassadin being banned out quick and directed bans to start off.
Yeah, Cloud9 always quick with the ban fingers.
They know what they want.
Kassadin and Olaf right there. A little surprised on the Olaf ban. Odd One hasn't been playing too much of that so far in the LCS.
Just back in week 1. He hasn't touched it since.
Exactly, just the one victory.
Where can they go with this? One more ban to come out for Cloud9. Lemon Nation on your screen. He is the man with the book in hand, calling the shots for the picks and bans.
And there's usually not too many surprises here once you're through the picks and bans. Obviously, the Elise ban away makes the jungle a little bit interesting. If they really wanted to attack Meteos, you would think that they would go with like a Vi pick, but Meteos has played so well on Lee Sin that it now becomes about the mid lane.
This was a LeBlanc-free zone, I thought.
Yeah, where's the LeBlanc? We didn't think High or Bjergsen would get to play that so far. 2 wins on LeBlanc for High. Bjergsen has played LeBlanc, I believe, once, but just destroyed on it, so he's never got the chance to play it again. It had been banned 3 times against TSM so far. It's a pretty bold first pick here. High has played many different champions in the LCS here. I think he has an answer for this. I mean, I think back to the Week 1 matchup where Cloud9 basically wanted TSM to pick Nunu. This was their strategy going into the game. Odd1 did, and then they picked Teemo instead to overcome their map control. Maybe here they wanted Bjergsen to pick LeBlanc, and then they could beat them with a very resilient composition where no one could get bursted down. Maybe very heavy pushing in the mid lane. I'm not sure. They need to show that they have a plan.
That comp with Nunu was also Dyrus on Nasus. It did not work out for them. Their plan seems to be straight to the heart of whatever TSM has. The Renekton and Leona.
Balls' Renekton has been the scariest one I've seen in North America. Lemon Nation also had a very good game against Costa and Leona. Lots of initiation and just tankiness right off the bat for them.
Very nice pickup there. Odd1's Vi. Bjergsen is going to take Caitlyn for Wild Turtle. Safe picks there.
Yeah, and what's strange about this champion select is Cloud9 are usually the ones to pick something immediately and then throw it back to the other side, but here it's really TSM doing that. Cloud9 waited till almost the bottom of the clock to lock in Renekton and Leona, whereas TSM locked very quickly right here. I feel like Cloud9 may have been taken a bit by surprise by the first pick LeBlanc. I think they were expecting TSM to go with something different there. Maybe they thought they were going to first pick Leona or something along those lines.
Maybe the Gragas, that's still left out as well. They could have anticipated that. It does look like they are considering, though, how do we stop this roam now? Bjergsen's going to be everywhere.
I also really wonder if Hai's going to break out the Yasuo. He would have until the very last pick.
He has 1 win.
Yasuo can do very well in lane to block a lot of LeBlanc's spike damage if he's incredibly reactive with his wind wall. Oh, the Zed.
Second Zed play coming in for Hai, and Sneaky chooses to lock in Ezreal once again.
Well, these guys have practiced against each other so much and kind of leveled up each other's play off of it. Anyone knows how to play Zed. It's one of these 2 guys in North America. That'll be a very fun, dodgy battle.
Yeah, I was going to say, very blink heavy if you want to get yourself around into secretive positions or out of a sticky situation. Mundo Annie is the lock-in we see coming from the side of TSM. 2 lanes that they are very familiar with.
Yeah, so the Caitlyn Annie lane coming in, it's a very common lane. Can sometimes chain the Annie stuns with a Caitlyn trap. Wonder now they're going to be going against Leona Ezreal. This means that Cloud9 gets to pick their jungler. I think it would just be the Lee Sin to continue.
3 in a row.
But they are rather low on magic damage. I wonder if Meteos has something up his sleeve, if he would throw back to like a Jungle Eve or something.
Oh, man.
Even though Diamond very recently did the Blade of the Ruined King, like Tank Eve, which is absolutely...
Which is Diamond.
Or if they actually want to do a Jungle Zed and completely mess with TSM, but magic damage from Fiddlesticks, of course.
I almost said that was going to go somewhere, then I forgot they picked Leona, so it is in the jungle. We're going to see Meteos going in on this. We've seen tank, we've seen damage. This will be damage.
I believe he played Fiddlesticks in Battle of the Atlantic and was victorious with it against Fnatic. So he has played it in a very high-pressure game before. It is the magic damage that Cloud9 really needs, and for once Cloud9 can kind of rely on Lemon Nation a bit more to do the initial initiation, so that Fiddlesticks can then combo on top of it with his Fiddlesticks ultimate. During Battle of the Atlantic, I believe they comboed it with a Thresh, so it was a little bit easier for him to get in. There is a little bit of disengaged danger from TSM on this one, but these lineups look pretty stacked for both sides.
Very interesting. I like what we have as the teams load into the Rift. Let's check out who you think is going to end the week in sole possession of first place. According to LOLesports.com, 72% of you think that Team Solo Mid will walk away with the win today.
And remember, 8 games Cloud9 has defeated TSM.
Yes.
Obviously, there is a lot of confidence behind this TSM team with Bjergsen. When they lost to Cloud9, they were only 0-1 with Bjergsen on their side. They were a new team now.
Well, both of these guys have the home court advantage, but you can hear who has the bigger one.
Yeah, TSM always with the most vocal fan base. It was a huge boon for them back in Season 2 when they dominated the North American online or offline tournament circuit. Cloud9 has gotten a lot of fan support thus far, but obviously they have not eclipsed TSM's fan base yet.
So loading into this game, just a quick pick to touch on. Sneaky's Ezreal again. Kind of saw him doing the Blade of the Rune King, Infinity Edge, mix-up build.
Absolutely.
See if he goes to it again. He does have to face a Mundo once more.
That was a very interesting build by Sneaky and very effective.
Keep an eye on.
Blade of the Rune King to Last Whisper on Ezreal, just to take out tanks.
Here it is, chat. Everybody has been waiting for it. The guacamole and chips and dip are ready for TSM versus Cloud9.
I feel like if I went to watch a League of Legends game, I wouldn't want to wear a mask. Those two guys having fun.
A horse or an eagle mask. I'd be an eagle though.
Yeah, me too.
I think the horse is just it's flooded the population. There's too many horsies. Hooses. There you go.
Horse.
Oh, we got like a clap going on for TSM here. This is like Morse code TSM.
All right. You can tell everyone's been waiting the whole day for this one. This is the big game of the day, Riv.
It is. It is. Meteos, he's going to start it with a ward, too.
Ooh. Well, obviously, knowing he has Drain on Fiddlesticks, he doesn't need the extra.
That's some dedication.
Still going. He doesn't need the sustain of health potions. I wonder if he's just going to bypass his Spectral Wraith jungle item as well. There's a very real possibility he's just going to rush his Sonya's Hourglass.
This positioning is very interesting so far. Are they going to 2v1? Bjergsen in middle? Leona's hanging up out top. Cloud9 slowly waiting this one out.
I'm not sure why Cloud9 does this, but they often position.
It is usually sneaky. Yeah.
They pretty much always position their AD carry in the mid lane. And I think it's if they want to react to any lane swaps, it is easier for them.
Right.
Because High is generally not going to go anywhere but the mid lane, so they can always rotate him up. And then that means they could rotate their AD carry and support anywhere else they want. So by going in that configuration, they can meet any demands that they actually want to hit.
And you are correct, sir. Looks like we are going to have High moving up towards that mid lane. They do not have anything they need to adapt to just yet. It's going to be the solid 2v2 in the bot lane and the regular mid. This is the matchup we wanted to see, though, especially High Bjergsen. And then our matchup of the day here, Meteos and Oddone in the jungle as we started off.
Yeah, and we get to see a jungle Fiddlesticks. Meteos, the only guy to play this split over in North America. And TenDudeX played a little bit of jungle Fiddlesticks back in Season 3. He was tank Fiddlesticks, though. It's pretty clever.
It worked out. Played it in more than one game.
Yeah.
I believe they found the victory with it in more than one occasion. What is kind of the pressure you see out of a Fiddlesticks? He's not just going to come flying out into the lane.
Yeah, a lot of it is just the fear of fear when he comes in. It used to be a lot longer. Look at that aggression early.
Oof, almost hits the double Q as well with the Shadow. Bjergsen's now going to have to play a little safe.
Yeah, Fiddlesticks also brings a lot of disabling. If you can find the right silence bounce, it's probably the most underrated part of Fiddlesticks. How many people he can shut down in the team fight. Like, even if he's not ulting and getting good initiation, if Meteos can land a fear onto Bjergsen and then combo with a silence, they can burst him down in a team fight when he decides to come in.
Not bad. It actually looks like he dipped right from blue to red as well in his Fiddle run.
Yeah, Fiddle's the type of champion who can do that. So that's why he didn't hit level 3 quite yet. But he doesn't care. He's just trying to have his own unique type of jungle routes. Yesterday when we were watching him play Lee Sin, you could tell he had put a lot of forethought into his jungle pathing. One of the games he even didn't have his blue, and he still didn't fall behind in the jungle.
Right.
Meteos definitely prepares his jungle routes more optimally than most junglers would.
Yeah. And when you say it was the same route, it was literally down to a T, even in his ward placement on the invades. So he knows what he wants to do, even if he gets deterred from the path. He'll stay straight on it.
Yeah, right now, these junglers are reading each other's minds. Meteos came because he thought that Oddone would be in that brush, therefore he warded. But before that happened, Oddone had warded over the wall because he thought Meteos would be there. In each other's heads.
Yeah, and it's really kudos to Meteos. He's going to have to, he doesn't really have the counter gank ability. He sits on the outside, and they're going to watch him walk in. So to have the wards there and not have to really show himself is very good for his position right now.
Fiddlesticks ganks are not that good,
yeah,
but they're also oftentimes just completely underrated. It's not like he has no impact whatsoever. Having just a ranged auto attack with red buff is sometimes enough to secure a kill.
So true. 4 minutes into the game. We'll see if any of those get transferred in the bottom lane. Not to be soon. The junglers will back, so we don't see the use of any of those buffs just yet. We'll see what those first buys come to be as this bottom lane shows 6 favor CS for Wild Turtle.
Yeah, at the moment, Caitlyn Annie just outranging them on both accounts. Annie longest auto attack range of any support in the game at 625 against a Leona who is a melee champion. So unless Cloud9 wants to kind of commit into TSM, they're basically stuck just getting harassed down little by little.
Meteos backing, prioritizing a pink ward already so they can start to gain control of the map quite early.
Yeah, heavy warding by Meteos, which is rather interesting on Fiddlesticks. He's basically just going to be farming until level 6, I think. So it increases the priority that Cloud9 has on Vision. They do not want the Odd One to swing a lane as important as mid, which is where Odd One's going to be going. Let's not make any mistakes about it. So therefore, Cloud9 and Meteos specifically wants to keep High safe with wards, since he can't necessarily keep him safe with jungle presence.
Meteos already picking up that sweeper as well, possibly thinking he'll hit 6 out on this run, give him a little more of an advantage with that ultimate to get in.
We'll have to see. These guys definitely feeling each other out so far. Top lane is our first visit. Ball's not really pushing in Dyrus too well, but has the small advantage that one would expect in a Renekton lane. And surprisingly, Meteos is running up to the top lane. He's actually trying to predict a Vi gank from the Odd One here, but he's not going to find it.
They have a good push on the lane, so it would be a nice read. But like you said, there's no worry for Dyrus, so the Odd One will not be there to have the
He's
gank.
found the pink ward. That is big right there. Meteos thought that pink ward would last a very long time, but Odd One decided to ward that brush, and he gets rid of it.
Very nice job by Odd One, giving himself a little bit of a power play there on the pink ward purchase. We see Dyrus getting pressured back to the lane. This will call Odd One to the top lane. Everybody's fending for themselves right now.
Yeah, very interesting move there.
Wow.
By Meteos to just walk up. He was basically trying to make Odd One show himself. A little bit of miscalculation there where he would have been.
Great calm play by Dyrus. Got to give him credit there for not going too hard on the kill. Would have got himself killed. And the first blood is still yet to be had as we approach 7 minutes. These teams giving each other quite a bit of respect in the lanes as Bjergsen tries to force out High, but he goes in. He gets the right back to his shadow, goes for the death. Mark, it does not spike enough damage with the Ignite stopping.
Well, that was interesting to say the least. We knew that mid lane was going to be all about the kill. As soon as Bjergsen silenced Chain and ran off on High, he decided to counterattack, but just not quite enough. I think one more auto attack and High could have had him, but Bjergsen made his retreat. That's just some mechanics in mid lane on both ends.
I have to see if the Ignite is actually used from Bjergsen and Odd One here. High's everything is down. Still a slippery champion. That could be a focus.
Yeah, this means High actually has to play on his back foot for quite a while now. If all the Odd One does is just like flash into ultimate range, High is most likely dead, as long as that happens before High's death mark comes back up. And they might just try and rotate right now. Meteos needs to do his best to get in position that he can protect that and fear it off with a Fiddle ult.
This is going so great for both teams right now. The farm is almost identical in every lane. There's a bit of a discrepancy there in the top lane and just a few farm between the AD carries, but these are the two top teams, and it's going to play out like this through the game, the entire game.
We're all expecting a very close game. This has definitely been a slightly slower start than we may have expected. I think that comes from Meteos picking Fiddlesticks. It slows down the early game for the most part. He is now waiting and just hoping to get a Fiddle ult off for a counter gank right now. But the mid lane gank just isn't coming. I think one of the reasons this game is so slow is there's a huge mind game going on right now between Meteos and the Odd One, trying to catch each other ganking the mid lane, since Cloud9 knows how mid lane focused TSM has become.
Yeah.
And Meteos just wants to catch the Odd One trying to help. He may have done it here, though.
See what they can get themselves into. Hiding just off in the wing. That's a level 6 Meteos. They're going to get the fear down. The silence goes out. There may not be enough damage here on the follow-up, but that could be enough for Dragon.
Yeah, Meteos deciding not to ult there, instead just drain and force the flash away from the Odd One. That will help High not get ganked, because Odd One can no longer pull off the flash assault and battery. So I just say the mind games continue so far. Still no big set of action, but that mind game goes to Meteos, which means now Cloud9 may have an opportunity to make a play.
Well, Jad, it's no coincidence that these two teams are in first place. They're the biggest scrim partners for each other. They know what each other do. They're giving each other a lot of respect, and they know the game could swing at any point in time. This will help Cloud9 a little bit in that favor.
Yep, very tactical Dragon right there by Cloud9. Dyrus actually burned a teleport believe, I think he just used it to get back to the top lane. I could be wrong on that one, because Balls had cycled down for a potential Dragon TP. Ooh, if he picks up that red buff, it might give him the ability to bully a little bit, because Meteos doesn't necessarily need it. That's a very smart buff transfer, in a sense, to the top laner.
Lock down this bottom lane. Sneaky is a little behind in CS, being forced to back here. So this, if Wild Turtle stays, he is going to get a bit more of an increase on that lead. Sneaky is not going for the Blade of the Rune King build just yet, though.
No, looks like he's going regular Bloodthirster. Doesn't need as much elusiveness in this game, or Blade of the Rune King would just end up killing him. You can see that ward spot, the odd one, loves to control that spot. Second ward he's placed there, just spotted Meteos. I wouldn't be too surprised, actually, if Meteos asks High to pink ward that brush again to get rid of the odd one's ward, just because these guys really seem to be in each other's heads right now.
Sneaky with a pink.
He's going to cleaver over the wall to try and check.
Oh, man.
No, he didn't.
Slowly. A lot of patience here coming in, and it has to be when you play Fiddlesticks.
Yeah. Never really know where he's going to be. He can theoretically ult over that wall and try and get something crazy, but he's just kind of backing off because they don't have eyes on the odd one at the moment.
Yep. There's always the rule of thumb that you should consider someone is in the bush every time, and even more so with the Fiddlesticks, because it's going to mean an instant 0 on your HP.
So these guys still feeling each other out. Let's take a bit of a look at the items. Brutalizer completed onto High, and also double Thorns for Bjergsen. So while Bjergsen hasn't went like a full Seekers for defense, the double Thorns is respect in itself to have the little bit of extra health. Both those guys are fairly vulnerable. Lemonation might go hard.
A very nice ultimate there. Solar Flare goes down as well as a True Shot Barrage. Can they finish out Wild Turtle, though? Xpecial to the back line, stopping a good amount of damage. Sneaky, very low. Xpecial, no flash. No, I know he just uses it all. Wild Turtle's Peacemaker. First blood on the long range.
And they might continue. They're trying to take with Timbers. They can't get the double. Wow, Rib.
Lines it up in a sniper shot for first blood.
That was a perfect example of how to stop a Leona as an Annie. You don't go for the Leona, you go for the 80 carry. So Lemon Nation gets trapped in there by himself. Xpecial just finishes him off, and the Timbers is just beating on Sneaky that whole time. Dive top!
And they're beating on Dyrus in the top lane. He gets hit up. The attacks go down from the turret. Balls makes it out alive.
Action reaction right there from Cloud9 and TSM. Meteos knows he can get that ultimate off on Dyrus. They've been working so well with Balls this week. They're trying to get him going. Instead of playing into the mind game of everyone ganking mid, Meteos heads top lane, gets a kill, and they can even out the turrets.
We shouldn't expect anything different from the two best teams in the league. I expect a lot of this gameplay to be mirrored. A nice death mark. He can't follow up on too much damage. The Ignite's there. But again, it just doesn't equal the amount of health he needs.
Nearly enough, but once again, yeah, High burns both of his summoner spell. Very nice move as he ulted as Bjergsen was trying to go in on him to dodge the damage, meaning Bjergsen couldn't attack back. But at the same time, High could not secure the kill. Therefore, he probably shouldn't have burned everything to go in that far. Now he is down summoner spells and also down health.
There's that Wild Turtle Peacemaker. Did pick up first blood as he comes up behind in mid with Xpecial now. Bjergsen may start some type of roam, or he may just go ahead and join Wild Turtle and Xpecial back in mid.
Yeah, now the rotations, I think, begin for TSM. The Caitlyn, Annie will definitely try pushing in a whole bunch. Sneaky not necessarily pushing the bottom lane, more so farming. So there is a rotational advantage for TSM right now, knowing that they also harassed High back. It's very difficult for Cloud9 to hold this. Who is going to clear the wave? Leona? No. Fiddle? No. They're going to get a lot of damage.
Yeah, they're going to be able to use this. They got 3 long range. Although it's not doing too much damage, it is going to force Leona to have to go pretty much for broke if they want to engage on this one. And the turret's there for TSM. They don't want anything more.
Yeah, they got a decent chunk of damage. They're going to be back to that one fairly soon. The next point of contention is going to be this dragon. It's going to happen in about a minute and a half. I think Balls is very much wanting to hit level 11. He's 10.5 right now. He can get level 11 before this next fight. I think Cloud9 could absolutely control that zone. And this dragon is also more valuable than the last one. And the game is tactical as this one. A small Goldie like that can pay huge rewards.
Small Goldie right now is in favor of Wild Turtle. That kill, the Bloodthirster already charging. So the ace in the hole, a better finisher now than it was before. Sneaky's actually going to start stacking his. He just purchased that. So again, these guys are staying very mirrored across the board, except for what we just saw.
I'd have to say, every member of Cloud9 has actually purchased a pink ward at this point in the game.
That's a good point.
More damage coming down on the mid lane. They're definitely trying to get some of TSM's wards out, so Lemonation can roam and get some good ults off. Also, because Fiddlesticks is more ward reliant than most other junglers. Whereas Vi can brute force a gank through a lane if she does like a flash vault breaker, Meteos cannot. They need the pink ward control so that he can find positions to attack.
Teleport is up onto Dyrus. Looks like we have...
Here comes the dragon control.
Wait for the defense on mid turret, but you're right, it is going to trickle down towards the dragon, and the pink ward is going to be able to be taken out here. And Cloud9 is going to set themselves up.
Yeah, they're going to want to go straight on this because Dyrus is pushing the top lane as quickly as possible. They're going to be daring TSM to come in. There's the initiation!
Oh, the flash vault breaker going in from the odd one, and then he does the assault battery, but he is in a 2v1. Down to the bottom of the screen, they're trying to zone out the entire team with the Crow Storm, and coming in with balls. Got him with the true shot barrage. It's going to be a walk away for high. It's going to be Dragon.
And the rest of Cloud9 just walked towards TSM, and they had to retreat. It is now a 5v3 near the Dragon. TSM trying to take the mid turret as compensation. I think they'll get it.
This is going to be good for them. That was a very interesting initiation to be going in onto high. Did not work out for TSM, and they got to rethink that one as Cloud9 pulls a bit in the lead.
I would love to see the other side of that fight where Cloud9 just walked through the majority of TSM, but it was really just not wanting to deal with the Fiddle ultimate and the Renekton ultimate, just pushing the rest of TSM back. I'd say the odd one got a little antsy with that initiation. There was no follow-up there because they had to watch out for everyone else. Watch Balls, Lemonation, and Meteos all fly in over top of X Special. Turtle and Bjergsen could not counterattack, which then meant on the backside, Cloud9 could finish off the rest of them. A very crisp zone control fight there by Cloud9.
Very interesting. They even saw Meteos taking out the pink ward just before the engagement. Odd one wants a little bit more. Gives a quick punch to Lemonation, and they back out of this engaged. Looking at Lemonation, actually hasn't built up that coin to the talisman whatsoever, but the Moby boots keep everything, or sorry, special.
Yes.
Keep the Moby boots running.
He's going to be trying to just get in stun rate at that point, whereas Lemonation hasn't been going for the gold generation whatsoever. He's really worried more about just getting tank stance as quickly as possible and then trying to get the gold off of objectives and kills. So far, so good for him because they have controlled both dragons.
And with Cloud9 slightly taking a lead here, we see sweepers being used a bit more. TSM has not made that transfer over just yet, but that also is catalyst for that Fiddle.
Yes, it speaks to the Fiddlesticks and the importance that Cloud9 is putting on vision denial, almost more so than vision acquisition right now. It is more important that Fiddlesticks is not seen than Fiddlesticks sees where the enemy is. Therefore, 3 sweepers this early, despite not having huge map control.
This little play by Wild Turtle. He's getting as much aggression in as he can this game. He actually, earlier in the mid turret, walked right in front of Lemonation and taunted him.
Yeah, and he's definitely showing the rewards in the CS column right there. 175
highest in the game
to 136. So fantastic farming from Wild Turtle. But now the split push begins from high.
We just saw Bjergsen even doing a little bit of roam of his own, putting on that hard hat and getting in the jungle. But this allows High to be in the bottom lane. They're trading back a little bit of global gold there.
This map is going to be opening up a fair bit now, which makes the ward control even more important. Top turret down for TSM, bottom turret
one
down
in the
for
other.
Cloud9. Exactly. At the moment, it seems like High is stronger than Bjergsen, and Renekton is stronger than Dyrus. Right now, it looks like it's Cloud9's time to try and make an aggressive move as they push mid.
Sneaky, Meteos on one side with Lemonation the support on the back, and I like what Cloud9's doing. They're not just putting everything up front. They have High on the side, trying to do a bit of pinching.
All right, 3 turrets on both sides. The map is about as open as it gets in the mid game here because the gold is even. These games can go in almost any direction once you get to this point. There's much more open field now, so if anyone tries to push lane, it's inherently more dangerous. Team fights also stretch longer because there's nowhere for people to run away. And whoever makes the next move, it just means it's even more swingy because then you're taking down second-tier turrets and so on. So these are always very interesting games when they reach this point.
Looks like the entire map is getting warded up right now. Neither team is letting that go to waste. We see the pink wards still coming out, both from the odd one and Meteos, but Cloud9 actually has more members buying up pink wards than just the jungle.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. Blade of the Ruined King's going to be trying to get finished by High as well. Zhonya's rush was, in fact, what happened out of Meteos.
Yeah.
No surprise there.
A little bit more potential to get in the fights and be danger.
Yeah. Mainly so he can put himself in silly situations and let the rest of his team follow up, which is kind of what Cloud9 excels on sometimes.
See if he can make those plays. Haven't really seen a Crow Storm be the change of a fight yet. They were able to get a good engagement down onto Dragon, but it wasn't a full fight of both 5v5.
Just TSM running away.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A little bit of a turn tail. 20 minutes into the game, a 2,000 gold, 1.6 actually, so we're not up to that amount just yet, but it's still close enough to be completely anyone's game. The Deathfire Grasp soon to be finished on Bjergsen, and that's when we start seeing him get those kills.
Yeah, something that's going to get more and more interesting too, Riv, is whether or not Cloud9's affinity for sweeping lenses hurts them, because they're still open to getting picked off by the odd one in Bjergsen. And even X Special. It's not like TSM doesn't have pick potential in their team composition as well, but it is Cloud9 that is sacrificing wards so they can get rid of TSM wards. There's a lot of fog on this map right now, because all the wards are really getting killed by Cloud9 and not placed by Cloud9, so that TSM doesn't need to sweep them.
Interesting pink ward placement after the mid turret goes down. Cloud9 really owning their own half of that bottom jungle.
Yeah. Well, they want to control that area for the next dragon fight.
Right.
Many places for Fiddlesticks to hide.
Very good point, and we will see where Meteos is. He's seen by a ward right now. You see he takes a bit of a different path than the team, and they know that he takes a different path. The Zhonya's comes out, and they waste a good bit, but is it going to be worth? They turn around the fight once again, and it's Deja Vu in the same spot. Who's going to turn tail on this one? TSM has already lost X Special.
Yeah, the answer is it's not worth it to go in and try and stop that Zhonya's, because that's exactly why he wanted to complete it, so he can be in bad situations and still let his team capitalize on that. X Special flashed to get the initiation, but then had no retreat, and Meteos' team went to back him up.
Always having this man down. TSM keeps adapting. They say, we did lose something, but let's try to move, and they go for top.
Yeah, this is a good move, because they know that Cloud9 would want to cycle around the dragon anyway, so they can then trade an inner turret for a dragon, which, if you're actually picking, would you do this normally? The answer is generally yes.
Yeah. Absolutely. Team Solo Mid keeping their head in the game, making sure that gold stays relatively close, and High is going to do what he can to push the mid lane. There's so many things that Cloud9 is prioritizing, but they're able to do them at the same time.
Yeah, these guys not necessarily fighting each other, but definitely trading a lot of map resources. Finishing this turret might not be possible. It's very dangerous for us.
Oh, he gets locked up. He didn't expect Bjergsen to be there, and it's going to be big damage as High goes down.
So overstaying is welcome so he can finish the turret. He would not have finished the turret if he didn't fall back. Now, overall, the gold gain from the turret is greater than the death, but the question is, what does TSM do while High is down? They are now gaining control of the Baron Pit. That is very hard territory to fight over, and Cloud9 loses it because of the death.
That ace in the hole to start. Oh, the Solar Flare goes down behind, but Levin Nation not in a good spot. The chain goes out. The burst could be there from the second hit of Bjergsen. He goes for it, and it's going to be the odd one to pick it up. Good positioning now for where they are.
All right, that takes out another kill, and that's all because High was dead. Sure, Cloud9 could have fallen back more, but they needed to have safety near that Baron area. Let's see how long Cloud9 continues to reel off of that chain of events.
The dominoes slowly falling here in favor of TSM. They get a few more kills in their favor. That 2,000 gold deficit still is ticking on the back.
As far as Cloud9 goes, TSM is doing Baron right now.
Do it, Baron, but there's Turtle coming up. Whoa! It's going to be the Zhonya's, and he just walks this one up. It's going to be enough to pop him down. Meteos will not be a factor in the next engage.
That's one more for TSM. They continue to capitalize off of this chain of events. Now Cloud9 is trying to push mid. TSM could very well secure this Baron.
That turret is very low in the mid lane from High previously.
They see it now.
Going to be able to take it down. It looks like they will go for Baron. 16 seconds on Meteos.
Bjergsen is low. He is going back. This could be a 3v4 in the Baron Pit. TSM may have to fall back. It's getting very antsy here.
The smite is going to be up here, coming in for the odd one. They go into the Baron Pit. Bjergsen has to put himself outside as the passive gets worn off. Odd one grabs it up, and it looks like Lemon Nation and Balls are going to try to do what they can. Dyrus and Sneaky having a 1v1 tit for tat. Odd one out of the brush, out of the Baron Pit, I should say, and they're trying to keep Baron alive on them.
So they do have the Baron buff, but how many people are going to lose it? Odd one is still on the run. He's going to try and hop over the wall, get away.
Bjergsen finds Dyrus, or Bjergsen and Dyrus, I should say, find High, and he gets out of that one alive. Everybody limping away from this one. Still a slight engagement here going on between Balls and the odd one. He has that Baron regen. A quick shield to put it on. Here comes Leona. Lemonation from the side. He gets the vault breaker over the wall. The rest of the team still trying to fend them off.
And the fight just goes on and on with him. How long will TSM run away?
Looks like this could be it. I mean, there's a blue buff. Somebody might want the blue buff, chat. But the Baron is still taunting them. That buff is just going to crush Cloud9 if they stay here. There's too much regen on TSM.
Oh dear, so that was a lot of cascading events that happened off of that one. It was good of TSM to focus the Baron and take the results afterwards. They did not lose many turrets, they did secure the Baron, and they only focused one death. Overall, good job by TSM.
So breaking things down here and slowing them down a little bit. We take a look at that jungle matchup, a Rumble in the jungle, a Fiddlesticks versus a Vi, and it's...
Yeah.
Meteos is being focused now. He's not getting enough time to ult.
Well, if the team is scattered, then Fiddlesticks doesn't necessarily have setup time. It's not so much about him being focused, it's that TSM just caught him in bad positions.
Right.
You know, Odd One is using his assault and battery very much on him, and he's an absolute priority as far as that goes. One thing to note, actually, is when a Mundo has Baron buff, it's a little bit ridiculous, because not only does he get health regen based on his max health from his passive,
yes,
Baron health regen by nature is also based off your max health. So it kind of doubles in the sense, since Mundo always builds so much max health in general, he just takes it to absurd proportions once he gets that Baron buff.
It's kind of like a Baron and a half.
Yeah.
Works out nice.
You can just leave your W on once you have Baron buff on Mundo, and you will not leave full health.
Get down at the AD carries. We see Wild Turtle really consistently in this type of aggressive play. Wins the lane at 1-0 and 2, and he is 60 CS above his lane.
Wild Turtle going to be hitting that last Whisper pretty soon. He's going to want to cut through balls. That'll be a very, very interesting duel if they can find clean initiations. But just based off the way TSM found that last fight, you know, these teams aren't the type of teams that just agree to fight 5v5. They're always going to be looking for that slight edge. Cloud9 tried to get the turret, took one death. What did that lead to? It led to a complete chain of events. It meant Lemonation got caught out top, which meant that Meteos then had to check. Then he died, which made the Baron fight, which made the push mid. It's not like they're just agreeing to meet in these places. It's always an action and an adequate reaction.
Yeah, there were 3 people, like you said, that went down off of that. TSM is controlling the map very well with communication and movement. They're just not looking for champion kills here. There's actually not a lot of those to be had in the game just yet. Blade of the Rune King has been finished, obviously on high for a while, but that's where he's been sitting because of this Hex Drinker coming in. Obviously the Brutalizer for the cooldown, but Bjergsen gave him a hard time in lane.
Yeah, the gold froze a little bit for Cloud9 recently with all the action TSM was doing. They haven't had much time to farm when dealing with this Baron buff. Flash initiation!
There it is, again onto Meteos! Forced to use the Zanyas, and he's not on Crowstorm. Goes down instantly. A huge amount of DPS is consistently being lost.
If Meteos gets caught out at the edge of these fights, Cloud9 will not win this game.
A pick that does not seem to be working in their favor. The crowd still very much so behind TSM as they were in the beginning, and it's helping them pull ahead.
Yeah, and with High going now to try and take a Dragon, they are fully conceding this inhibitor to TSM. They do not want to fight it any longer and create another chain reaction.
28-minute inhibitor, a little bit quicker than I thought would come from this game, but we still could go into the late game. This is going to be going down, but they are fully rushing down here for High. He's going to Shadow, get safety.
Shadow's just been used. They know where he is. They're going to be chasing him for a little while. Let's see how slippery High can become.
We'll see how much Cloud9 can work off of this if TSM decides to kind of tunnel run on him. If he can bide some time, they can get these lanes pushed, and Cloud9 could start getting them out of their base.
Side against it. Nice pathing by High to get out of there. And it's one of Cloud9's hallmarks, actually, that they... Going to have to lifesteal for a little while now. That Cloud9 can keep the gold even regardless of when they start making mistakes. Even though they suffered deaths and lost 2 turrets there, when they made the call to get the Dragon, it helped equalize the gold. They're only down 1,500 gold, despite forfeiting a Baron and losing a couple team fights in a row.
Meteos kind of has to go into sneak mode now. Being seen pretty much means his death.
He's got to be much more careful about where the Odd One finds him. That jungle matchup has definitely trended towards the odd one in the last few fights. First few fights, Meteos was out mind gaming them. Nice wards, burned the flash on odd one, controlled the dragons. And now that Meteos is having to use his Zhonya's defensively while he's not channeling Crowstorm, has been very detrimental to Cloud9's overall success. Let's see if they want to go for a fight here, though.
A little weird on the positioning. Oh, the Talisman of Ascension. Can they find him?
Here it
no.
comes.
Meteos is not ready, but he is going to be able to get the ult in this time. He comes in. The Crowstorm is in the fight now, and it's going to be pushing TSM back. They still drop 2 members immediately of Cloud9 with only Xpecial going down in the fray.
So overall, a 1 fight by TSM. Let's see if they turn around now. Balls does not have too much longer on that Renekton ult.
That chain missing. Really, everybody's just looking for the next mistake here. Somebody to go outside of their boundaries, and it's not going to happen. Everybody plays it calm, gets their composure back, and we're going to get some wards cleared out.
So we really got to see there the resiliency of the TSM lineup. Even though Meteos did channel a fairly good ultimate inside with balls there, they couldn't get much damage out. High went all in on Wild Turtle, came up with nothing. The QSS stopped the death mark right as it went in. And that is a troubling fight for Cloud9. It actually tells TSM they could win this one. That was a close to ideal team fight for Cloud9.
Yeah.
And TSM still came out on top 2 for 1.
We got to see the Crowstorm, and it did not prove to be what we thought it would. The Quicksilver Sash bought out by Wild Turtle so he can keep himself safe from whatever Meteos tries to throw at.
Having 300 farm, 30 minutes on AD carry is quite high. Dyrus is going to be able to escape. Since he stole that blue buff, his ultimate's on a very short cooldown, 50 seconds more, and it'll be back up again. But the Baron is live.
See what Cloud9 can do. We kept hearing in the beginning of this game that everybody gave Cloud9 the stronger lanes.
Right.
And that was usually with Meteos helping them. He wasn't doing anything up until 6 this game, so it looks like TSM came stronger in the lanes this game.
Fiddlesticks is a slightly different pick, and also Wild Turtle did so well.
Yeah, really came out on top.
In lane against Sneaky Elimination. At this point, though, Cloud9 is put in a very awkward situation. Knowing that Dyrus' Mundo has a teleport up, normally the play to stop that is Cloud9 would go around Baron and then force him to come in. But since Cloud9 is the weaker team, they don't want to posture around Baron. So I think if TSM plays their cards right, they can either secure an inhibitor for Dyrus or a Baron for themselves. Cloud9 does not have a lot of good plays here to make.
It's got to be on their terms, and even when we saw it on their terms, it was still a stretch of a fight. They only got Xpecial because he threw himself so far into the back line. 3,000 gold lead has been accrued here. The Mikhail's Crucible is out, so even
much.
whatever.
QSS on Bjergsen, QSS there, and a fight in the Baron pit with Baron up!
There it goes. True Shot Barrage comes through. The Solar Flare. Meteos coming in from the backside. Can he get there? Odd one feared up. He's going to be taking a lot of damage, but Meteos goes down to the blink of an eye. Sneaky on the backside has to shift away, and he can't put DPS into the fight. Xpecial goes back in with the flash, and the Ignite still up. Wild Turtle taking down Ezreal. High goes down as well. Team Solo mid, almost AC9, but take the Baron.
And the TSM chance coming out 4 for 0 right there for TSM in the cleanest fight they have had yet. With the Baron, they take a commanding lead in this game. 33 minutes in, they're going to look to push. Taking one more look at this fight, you can see Lemonician tried to go into the Baron because this was the best fight they were going to find. Meteos, though, gets exploded by Bjergsen. Watch this burst. Bjergsen is waiting for him. They stun him with Annie and burst him out. Everybody wanted to kill him before he could Zhonya's. At that point, since the burst was out from High, there was just no sustained damage left on Cloud9, and it's just cleanup from then on out.
A quick 1, 2, 3 punch. Jat, you pretty much said it. They can do whatever they want. They can dictate and drive the game to Baron.
Yeah.
Cloud9 bid it.
At that point, there were not too many options left for Cloud9. So good execution by TSM. And honestly, that's what Cloud9 had to try to do. Cloud9 was the better team in this situation.
That fight has just catapulted Team Solo Mid into a huge gold lead. 8,000 gold over Cloud9 right now. A swing that we did not expect to see in this game. We thought it was going to go straight neck and neck, but TSM is showing that they came very prepared for this matchup.
Yeah, and now that there's the big gold lead, you just kind of can see the team compositions really coming out of top for TSM. Mundo has substantially outscaled Balls' Renekton, Thornmail, and all versus heavy physical damage on Cloud9. Makes him almost unkillable because Meteos isn't going to be focusing Dyrus or doing damage to him. He's going to be trying to get Fiddle ults on the rest of the team. So all Dyrus has to worry about is that armor. And then when you consider the relevancy of the rest of Cloud9, Wild Turtle and Bjergsen can think about killing whoever they want. They've built the QSS so that High is no longer a threat to them either. And their damage is sufficient because they're sitting on so much gold. 5 kills on both of the main damage dealers. The gold distribution could not be better right now for TSM.
504, 505, and a good 200 gold, almost 2,300 sitting on Wild Turtle. And you can see just how comfortable they feel being in the lane right now. He doesn't feel like he needs to spend it. There's too many opportunities to be had right now.
It's 3,500 gold ahead of everybody on Cloud9 right now. Just the farming he's been able to do. He's actually saving up for an Infinity Edge right now. Yeah. It would nearly cap off his build. But at the moment, since they have the Baron buff, and as we talked about, close to untouchable nature, they're going to want this one. Cloud9 may try to flank from the back and have one last fight. Here it comes.
Solar Flare, dead center of absolutely nothing. TSM is going to be able to pretty much waltz around this as they recuperate to what's going on. Oh, half health from one ace in the hole. That is not what you want to see coming down in damage.
Level 17 Wild Turtle means that thing hits pretty hard. It's hitting for 1,183 before armor is taken into account. Just the one spell. And that's before his Infinity Edge Riv.
The game has just seemed to slide in TSM's favor. We kind of said that it was slow picks for Cloud9 coming in after they saw the LeBlanc. Maybe they were not expecting that.
Well, Cloud9 needs to wait on the Leon Ultimate before they can try this again. They need the Leon Ultimate not to whip to have a chance, but they're going in before because they do not have the time.
That's the third time Turtle's been really close. He gets himself out with the flash. The Quicksilver as well is there to assist. They're trying to go in on this, but there's not much damage coming from Meteos. It's like the fight really wasn't engaged, but it is special. Taking down Lemon Nation, and he is again in the forefront of the fight with the rest of the team. Balls is the one getting hit up. They're going to take him down and hit him right in the name. Sneaky goes down next. Meteos is on the board as well. The Zanyas goes, but he goes down.
I think this is the game, Rib. That was another clean fight for TSM. You can see Cloud9 was not going to let TSM whittle them down. They went all in because it was the only chance they had. And now TSM is on the coast.
An amazing game, Team Solo Mid. Going to take sole possession of first place over Cloud9. Give them their second loss of the season. And they're going to look to be 7-1 now in the spring split.
See, TSM is really happy about this one. This is what they were trying to do when they brought in Bjergsen from Europe right here. They wanted him to dominate the mid lane for him, for TSM, for Reginald, to let everything else work. Wild Turtle has always been a fantastic laner, but if he gets focused in team fights, which he had in the past by Cloud9, things would turn sour. But right here in this game, it was Bjergsen and Wild Turtle. Too many threats to have to deal with. The odd one was able to neutralize Meteos. TSM takes first place in North America once again.
I think that's some of the best medicine that team could have got right now.
They all had the flu. Very difficult week for TSM, but they come out of it undefeated once again. Reginald, their owner and coach, very happy about that one.
Couldn't have gone better for them. It looks like they tossed up Cloud9 in the picks and bans and got them all flustered. The Fiddlesticks picked to come out, and it looked good in the beginning. But it seems like just TSM knew how to get under the skin of Meteos before he was able to get to work.
Yeah, Meteos had a couple good early fights in the game, but then after that was just never able to transition his Fiddlesticks. Despite Cloud9 going for 4 sweepers, they weren't able to get the map control to let Meteos get off the ults. And we actually mentioned in the mid-game the danger Cloud9 was going to run into when they sold all of their warding trinkets for sweeping trinkets. We thought, hey, maybe TSM is going to be able to catch Cloud9 out of position. And that's actually what happened in multiple situations, because both of these guys had very pick-oriented team compositions, and TSM were the ones that found more picks.
And props to the odd one. It was just the one pink ward that we noticed he took out, but he was on complete ward duty, continued pink warding for the team, and was trying to seek out Meteos at any point in time to keep those ults off the map.
Yeah, it was very well played by TSM, and I really think we have an expanding rivalry here between TSM and Cloud9. You know, it's the first time TSM has kind of fought back, and there's an old saying that like a series doesn't start until both teams win a game, and now TSM has started the rivalry. They've finally been able to defeat Cloud9. And it's game on from here. They're going to be battling over first place, I think, for the foreseeable future.
I don't know, man. Maybe we'll get some more Teemo picks in there for Cloud9.
Maybe they need it. I don't know. Teemo would have been killed by Bjergsen a lot of times.
There were a lot of champions that got through this time. Kragus, LeBlanc, very interesting picks and bans from what was considered.
Was non-picked and non-banned. You can definitely tell there's a lot of, I hate to use the term metagaming between these two teams, but it's kind of true. It's a game within itself when these two teams play each other. They know their strengths and weaknesses. They know the picks and the counter picks, and something that may seem like a very strong pick in a general sense isn't a strong pick between TSM and Cloud9.
So how does this work for Cloud9 now? A lot of people saying Cloud9 needed the win. Obviously, TSM needed the win. It was our question of the day. I feel like Cloud9 can bounce back from this, though.
Yeah, I think they can absolutely bounce back. Cloud9 is a team that has had to bounce back a few times in the past, you know? And this isn't exactly a devastating loss for them. Remember, it is a regular season defeat to TSM. It's just extra ceremonious because TSM had never beaten Cloud9. It's a milestone moment for them, and Cloud9 is kind of shown to be mortal. You know, it's not like it's the end of the world for there. It's like, oh wow, they didn't beat everybody in North America. The sky is falling. It's not. Cloud9 will be fine.
Well, with our first place match completed there, we do figure out that TSM now holds sole position of first place.
Absolutely.
A very well-played matchup, and it's something that we need to look towards the future for these guys, because if they can just kind of, even in a sick state, even well having kind of been under the weather, put themselves in this position and win so handily against the best team, what are they going to do?
You know,
for the rest of the season?
I know. It's going to be a very interesting season. I don't think Cloud9 is going to hit 25-3 again. They'd have to only lose one more game for the rest of it. It just means we have a very exciting season coming up.
All right, everyone, let's take a look at the standings now that we are 3 weeks deep into the NALCS Spring Split. Thanks to their first ever win versus Cloud9, Team Solo Mid is sitting alone in first place, 1 game ahead of C9.
Yes, and thanks to their 2-1 Week 3 performance, COG has climbed all the way into sole possession of 4th place, while Curse, EG, Coast, and XTG are sitting in the bottom half of the standings.
All right. With those standings kind of filling out, it's been good for us. A lot of variety of champion picks, a lot of variety of pretty much everything else we've wanted to see, from Nunus to Urgots to everything else. And actually, I'd really like to welcome somebody to the desk. Just a few moments.
We snuck him up here. Don't worry about it.
Sneaking him up. I'd like to welcome one of the 5 guys who are now sitting in sole possession of first place. TSM's top laner, Dyrus. Dyrus, welcome to the desk. After an amazing game.
Yeah, it was a workout.
You seem a little stressed.
Talk to me about how hard this week was for TSM, because all of you guys are battling sickness.
Oh yeah, so basically me and Turtle, we ate like 14 dragon rolls, so me and him, I threw up for like 10 hours. And then Oddwin got sick. I don't know if it was from us, but Oddwin got sick, and then Bjergsen got sick, and then Turtle got sick again, and then everyone's just getting sick. So it's like really, really stressful, because it's like, oh, I can't play solo queue, I need to sleep, or you know, I can't get Challenger yet. This guy's feeding my game, and I'm sick, and I'm miserable, and yeah, a bunch of stuff.
So does that come down to affecting some of the scrims and whatnot? Or do you guys try to push through all those?
It affects it a little bit, because sometimes like we'd have like scrims with certain teams, and then it'd be like, guys, I feel really sick. I don't want to play. I really, really don't feel like playing, because then, well, Turtle said that, but he was like dying, so he just like passed out, and then we canceled scrims. So we miss out on some practice, and we just get a lot more resting time. So it's kind of like not as bad as it could be.
Even so, none of it really showed during your gameplay against Cloud9. That was a very crisp TSM victory. In fact, there was kind of a turning point somewhere in the mid-game. We have a clip. I'd like you to try to describe what was your mindset going into this fight. If we can pull it up on the screen. It was a mid-game team fight. You guys were able to win. If we can get that on the screen here. What were you trying to do here as Cloud9 was coming back at you?
So Lemon like went in really early, so we just went on him, and the rest of his team's kind of stuck in that area right there. And Fiddle had to like flash in just for Turtle, and Turtle just got to flash out. That was a really bad area for them to fight. I think Lemon tried too hard there, but even then it was just actually no. Xpecial made that play.
Yeah, Xpecial's the one who went in and kind of forced the initiation.
Yeah. I think Lemon should have just kept walking back, because they were in a really bad spot to fight. Like that little choke point that forced Meteos in a spot to where like he has to flash to get to our 80, and our 80 can easily just, you know, walk out or flash out.
All right, going to picks and bans for a little bit. 2 things here. Did you guys expect to get first pick LeBlanc, and did you expect the Fiddlesticks from Cloud9?
Well, we expected and planned a lot of things. The game went as we planned, and I'm pretty sure they planned the game too. Like,
Yeah.
I saw our picks. I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure they know we're gonna pick this. And it was like there's Cassidon, and then there's a Thresh, and then there's Elise, and then you end up banning it, and it's like, all right, if this is banned, we're gonna pick this. And we went into the matchups like. We actually tried really, really hard for this one. We usually don't go this far, but I'm like, all right, this is what's going to happen if Balls picks Renekton. He's been doing really well. I'm going to pick Mundo. He's going to dive me top with Meteos at like 8 minutes into the game. Like, I know this is going to happen, and then I knew it was going to happen. I died anyways because I was like, oh, I think I can survive this, and I was like, oh, whoops. But, yeah.
And this was actually your 9th time you guys have played Cloud9. You lost the previous 8. Now that you've been defeated, what does it really mean for TSM to finally take down Cloud9?
We're 1-7 now or whatever. Like, that's really great because even coming into this match, I felt like, I missed a lot more CS than I could have, or I put a ward really dumb, or like I made 2 really bad flashes this game. And that's from like, past traumas. We just usually play scared against Cloud9. Compared to like, we don't play how we play in our scrims or against other teams. We just play a little bit more scared than usual because, we know what they can do. It's like, oh, they're going to ult here. But this game we were really, really good about like, oh, they have Fiddle. We've seen them play this before. We need to get wards out. I need to buy that blue trinket no one ever buys. I need to like get that vision and find them. So as long as we had that, we could just kite and we scaled better late game.
So what's next looking forward for Team Solo Mid? Or any other teams that you kind of want to headhunt down here? Are you guys in first place? You're just going to hold it?
Right now, Dignitas has been on the rise lately, so we're going to have to watch out for them. A lot of the players on their team have been getting a lot better, like recently. Since they had that loss against us, I think they really turned around. I had no idea that they're going to beat Cloud9 like that. And it's surprising. It looks like they have a boost in confidence and like they're doing really well, and that's one of the teams I'm looking out for, other than Cloud9, of course.
Well, likewise, you guys are doing very well. Thank you for the interview. Congratulations on the win, and congratulations on first place for Team Solo Mid.
Thank you.
All right, now it's that time of the broadcast where we hand out some individual honors. Here are our 5 OP for the week.
Yeah, we'll start in the top lane, obviously, where the honor ends up going to Cloud9's Balls. He was always a beast in the top lane, a very impressive KDA. Even though he wasn't able to take out Dyrus in that last one, he was strong all week, and we had to give him the honor.
And in the jungle, it is Meteos. Even though Cloud9 lost to Team Solo Mid, he continues to impress with well-planned jungle strategies, and he also had a great game on Lee Sin. Not a champ he normally runs with.
Yeah, and the overpowered mid for week 3 was a new guy in the mid lane, Chouster. Amazingly able to come in on 2 days' notice, fill in for CLG, help them to a 2-on-1 record, and while the numbers aren't insane, the situation he put himself in to come out successful was impressive.
Yeah, absolutely. Our OP80 carry is Chouster's log time and BFF Double Lift. Got Double Lift looking like his old self again, displaying some insane Vayne mechanics in their 2 wins.
Yeah, and finally, our OP support for week 3 is Lemon Nation. And obviously his picks and ban notebook. Even though he died 12 times, he always initiates. He was solid on the Iona. They could not come out on top against TSM, but that was not for lack of trying by Lemon Nation, so he gets the nod.
And while those guys were great, there can only be one. Our MVP for week 3 is Team Solo Mid's jungler, the Odd One.
Yeah, and it was the battle between him and Meteos in that last one. He helped Team Solo Mid to their first ever win versus Cloud9. He shut down Meteos. They went 2-0 this week. He also had a great game against XCG because this is a weekly award. And to top it all off, he did it with the Odd Virus, as Kobe had coined it beforehand. So good job by him.
And somebody's got to steal the MVPs away from Team Solo Mid. That's 3 now.
Yeah, someone's got to knock him down. I mean, they only lost once in the first week, even though Bjergsen had a pretty good game, so it's going to be tricky.
Might help to get some LCS big plays in there. Get yourself on that.
Perhaps.
BOP or even the MVP. Now, guys, before we send it over to the Challenger Series in just a second, let's take a look at what's coming up over in Europe on Thursday. Peke and first place Fnatic kick off week 4 with a battle against Alliance, with the Lemon Dogs and Team Alternate closing out the day.
And of course, the North American LCS will be back next Saturday, February 8th, with a full lineup of matches you won't want to miss. Up first, it's second place Cloud9 versus XDG.
And remember, once Curse and Dignitas squared off its first Challenger Series semifinal with Skyline taking on Zhao and LMQ. All right, guys, don't go anywhere because Kobe and Freak are waiting in the wings to guide you through tonight's best of 3 semifinal matchup between Cognitive and VVV White. Gentlemen, take it away.
Thank you very much, Riv. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the 2014 North American Challenger Series. I'm David Freak Turley, and joining me at this lovely desk is the even lovelier Sam Kobe-Kensler.
Thank you, Freak. You always pick me up when I'm having a bad day. Thank you. I
Sometimes.
needed that.
Yeah, got you on my back. Don't worry, we're good. Coming up in tonight's broadcast, we do have our last quarterfinal match of the first Spring Series. In the blue corner, it's the Spring Promotion Tournament participants Cognitive Gaming.
And in the red corner, it's VVV Gaming White. The winner of tonight's best of 3 quarterfinal will advance to the semifinals, where they'll play last night's quarterfinal winner, Determined Gaming.
And because I've always been a bracketologist at heart, let's take a look at the North American Challenger Series bracket. In the top half, our first semifinal features the 8th-seeded Skyline, fresh off their upset win over Cloud9 Tempest, taking on the Chinese powerhouse LMQ and their minion-crushing mid laner, Xiao.
And in the bottom half of the bracket, it's last night's winner, Determined Gaming, sitting in their semifinal slot, awaiting either Cognitive Gaming or VVV White.
And of course, if you want more information on the Challenger Series, or just don't believe me and want to double-check my work, head over to lolesports.com.
You can find the North American Challenger Series under the Leagues and Tournaments tab near the top of the page.
Yeah, do that. It's a good place to go. It's shiny. It's awesome. Go for it. And now let's check. And now let's actually get to it and find out who will be facing Determined Gaming in next week's semifinals. It's time for Game 1 of tonight's best of 3 quarterfinal showdown: Cognitive Gaming versus VVV Gaming White. And for Cog, today is the start of their quest for another trip to the promotion tournaments.
So Cognitive Gaming did participate in the Spring Promotion Tournament, where Curse actually first picked them, which sort of signifies that they consider them to be the weakest of the 3 challenger teams. Then Cognitive did get some revenge, though. In the first game, they took down Curse. Curse then came back, swept them 3 more times in pretty convincing fashion, though.
Yeah, so 1-3 loss for these guys. But if Cog wants to put the past behind them and win their way into the summer promo tournament, they will need their mid laner Zamfira to step up a bit.
Yeah, Zamfira is a guy that I really like watching just because he's known for some unconventional mid lane picks that AP Lulu included. Things like Malzahar come around.
Yeah,
exciting to watch.
He's pretty awesome. Yeah.
In their promotion games, though, what was it? Versus... I think it was Curse. Yeah, they played the conventional champion, Ziggs and stuff. So we'll have to see if he actually comes out with stuff like that AP Kog'Maw this time around. Can't wait to see what we got.
Yeah, I got that at least in Game 4, and we'll see what else he can bring up. Of course, lining up across the rift from Zamfira in Cog Gaming is VVV Gaming White, a team that actually has Cog's old top laner, Chris, here in their top lane.
I mean, Chris has bounced around a lot. I mean, their top laner, he used to play for Velocity in the LCS, and then he did play for their opponents tonight, Cognitive. Now he's on the other side. So after that summer split, he had a pretty good run with Cognitive, but then jumped ship. And now he's doing really well with this new team, VVV White, and it seems to be working out for him and the team as a whole.
Yeah, we'll watch how they perform, of course. Now, even though they have won their first 2 Challenger Series, VVV White hasn't been easy for him so far.
Both of those wins were really close, and they both took a really long time as well. Their first game against Crossover Esports was a very close contest. It took 59 minutes to finish that one, and the match ended 18-18, so dead tied right there. In their second challenger game, it was Triple V White. They took an hour to take down the Girlfriends Nexus. That was the name of the team. And so we're going to have to see if their new mid laner, Microlacious, can help out the team to end a game in less than an hour this time. He's going to be starting in place of the bench Tails, who used to be like their AD carry.
Yeah, Tails was the AD carry a while back when... So I actually like VVV because they have awesome names. They had Get Snuggled, Cheese Beluga, and Porpoise Pops. Unfortunately, Get Snuggled is still here. But yeah, their AD carry was Tails. Tails went to the mid lane. In their 2 games, Tails had a 16.5 KDA. So he was like carrying the crap out of the mid lane games, but he's sitting down for now. As you said, Microlacious, now the mid laner here. And that's always interesting to me when you have like a highly performing member step down, and you've got to kind of jump in for that because they had close games already. They needed him.
Like, wow, you're great AD carry, go mid. Oh, you're not that great mid, now you're benched. That doesn't seem like a fair deal.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see how it goes, though. We are on to picks and bans, though. Gragas, the ban at least coming through. And, of course, when you look over at the Cognitive lineup, Captain Ziploc gave himself a promotion. He's now Admiral Ziploc.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, he's getting
Name
better.
change there.
He's getting better. And because Chris left Cognitive Gaming, Richie Rich, now the top laner.
Ah, that guy, he bounced around pretty high ELO in Challenger. Big Renekton player, as a lot of top laners are.
Yeah. I like the bans, by the way. So Zamfira plays everything under the sun mid lane, so he bans like the top 3 conventional mid laners and says, that doesn't even hurt my champion pool.
1, 2, 3, 4 mid laners banned, and then the OP jungler Elise and OP top laner Dr. Mundo.
Well, here we go. Riven first picked. You've seen her go a lot of places. I've seen top, I've seen jungle, I've seen mid.
I've seen Ziploc actually play that champion. Pretty sure that's definitely in Richie Rich's champion pool as well. But like we said, Zamfira, definitely more AP oriented.
Yeah.
So I'd lean towards more top and jungle with this Riven, I think.
Yeah, he did play mid Sivir in, I think it was game 2 against Curse. But you're right. Otherwise, it's like AP Cog, AP Lulu, a bunch of sort of match damage guys. I haven't really seen it much on guys like Zed. So we'll see what goes on with this one. As you're calling it, more likely to the jungle. Vi, we look to hear from VVV Gaming White. And really, I like this because Riven was a big champion for Chris as well. It's still his most played in solo queue. Still very popular for him. So definitely an option.
Even after all the changes, a lot of people still playing the champion. Very, very popular. But with 3 mid lane bans here, I'm surprised VV White are not taking the opportunity to grab one this early.
Yeah.
I guess they're waiting to see where this Riven will go. And the Lulu being locked in kind of tips you off because that's Zamfira's favorite mid lane champion.
Good chance that is AP Lulu. I just like seeing that.
Whenever you have like a mid lane player that's known for that, though, it opens you up to that bait, and you're like, could be a support. What do you think is going to go on here?
Well, the interesting thing is, like, no supports got banned. So, like, you know, the big common 3, right? Leona, Thresh, Annie. Of course, VVV choosing, yes, Thresh is our favorite support here, but you could play Lulu against it. She's, like, right below that sort of top 3 tier, so it'll be a fun thing to watch for. Caitlyn picked up as well, so always a great AD carry. Long range, works in almost every lane. VVV White's turn to make their own choices. I personally don't like Jinx into Caitlyn because you have a huge range disparity, but we've seen Jinx lane just win 2v1s by out-pushing.
Plus, your tower sieging, she's one of the few champions that matches up with Caitlyn because in the late game, you'll have enough mana, you can switch to rockets for the extra range, and early game, if you do switches or anything like that, your attack speed is just through the roof, so I do also kind of like that matchup. If it is a support Lulu, though, that's a really quick shoving lane, and they could just shove them right into the turret and keep them there for the entirety of the early game.
Hey, what I'm also kind of surprised about is that VVV White still waited on their mid lane pick, even though they have like you would like 90% be sure it's mid Lulu here. They're like, actually, we're gonna make sure we think you're messing with us.
And taking Renekton in the top lane is not like you're showing any cards or anything from your hand, so pretty safe to go with the AD carry and top lane pick.
Yeah, works in a lot of situations here. So Cognitive now, 25 seconds to make their last few choices. They need, who knows? All we really know is they have an AD carry. The rest is kind of up in the air, which is fun about their champion select.
So it's funny you mentioned up in the air. Whenever you do have a Lulu, that's a pretty good setup for Yasuo, who's on the board and has become pretty popular. But looks like that's not going to be in the cards for Cognitive.
No, so Jungle Amumu is here. Gigantic amounts of AoE on this team. Admiral Ziploc does play that a fair bit in solo queue. One of the only guys I've seen still picking up this champion. But I mean, Spears on Amumu is going to never leave that jungle. He's going to get farmed.
He's just a very quick clear nowadays. You don't have to worry about your blue buff so much anymore. Because as soon as you get that Spirit Stone, you almost can gain mana and life off of jungle camps.
Yeah, Despair basically is a blue buff.
Yeah, because you do you get so much from the damage you deal, and you get healed health and mana from killing the main minion in that camp, then you come out pretty much even whenever you kill anything.
All right, so VVV White now confirming that it is almost definitely mid lane Lulu. The funny thing is Annie really could be mid.
All right, let's just step out here. Let's make a call for once. We're going to say this is mid lane Lulu, top lane Riven, and support Annie.
Or you're pulling an Edward, it's support Amumu.
Real bold here. Okay.
That's how you take down XDG. But
this
yeah,
is Challenger. Let's relax a little bit.
You never know. All right. Okay, so mid lane Lulu, support Annie. The Orianna's going to be picked up here for Micro Latios. Interestingly, not something he's played a lot of recently, but kind of choosing to let LeBlanc go through the wayside is one of his most played in solo queue. Lets that one go. So Orianna going to fit with the team. VVV White, a lot of engage potential here.
I really like the combo of the Vi plus Orianna. I mean, it's not something new. It's not something, super flashy, but it's something that works.
Yeah.
And it's a really easy combo to pull off. So anytime we have that duo, I'm a big fan. Plus, they have the Jinx for the end game. So just a very sort of solid team over here for VV White. Seems to be good at all stages of the game. They've got great team fight. The only thing is their split push kind of depends on if Chris gets that point. Is he going to build for Tiamat and shoving, or is he going to not?
I feel like we've seen Tiamat more and more.
Pretty much all the time.
Yeah, it's weird because so Renekton was popular throughout the end of Season 3, and almost all the Western top laners built Tiamat Hydra, and then the Koreans just went Sunfire Cape anyway.
And then Soaz builds Blade of the Ruin King.
Yep.
So we could go the Euro route here. We might see Blade of the Ruin King
on everybody.
Renekton. I actually like it.
Okay. I mean, it works, right? You got the on-hits from W, so.
Feel neat when you use it because it makes it even easier for him to catch 80 carries.
Yeah, you got the on-hit resets. You've got more procs. You've got more attack speed to build up Fury. So you can get more empowered abilities.
Yeah.
I mean, every empower ability is 1.5x damage from its base version, so attack speed is a damage stat more than you'd think for Renekton.
Yeah, that's how you play high-level Renekton in lane. You have to play around the Fury. Everybody, you'll see them playing extremely aggressive as soon as they build up that bar. But once it gets to full, they want to make use of it to either gain life back with Golden Meek or get some harass down. As soon as it goes away, then it's your turn, if you're playing against Renekton, to go aggressive.
So let's see what happens here. You've got the battle of mid laners who can shield themselves. I feel like we don't see that kind of matchup very often, but Zemfira here with the Lulu against Microlatios, Orianna, and standard battle lines drawn is going to be Riven Renekton top. So I like that because it's a very aggressive matchup as well. This guy's going to fight a lot. And this is with the patch with the Riven changes. So
right. So the shield's going to last a bit less. I think that might be the biggest change. Yes, the damage is really cool. They changed the scaling for Broken Wings and reduced the damage in general. But the reduction in time that your shield lasts really closes the window on players that are not precise with their movements. You have to judge that very well, or else you're going to lose out really big against the Renekton.
See what they can get with this one. See who can win that top lane. It's going to be a fun one to look for. So far, no one's really invading the jungle, just standing by the river, putting their trinkets down and saying, okay, no one's invading really. Admiral Ziploc. I just like that. I just like that he's an admiral now. I don't know.
So I don't know if I like it because the odd one earned his jungle title, the general.
Yeah.
That was given to him. Ziploc over here, he's just declaring himself an admiral. You can't really do that. I thought Zingy was up there as the admiral or something like that. He just kind of decided that he's gonna give. He's like giving yourself your own nickname.
Hey man, but everyone chooses their own nickname. You chose Kobe.
Yeah, well, your gamer tag is not actually a nickname.
That's literally his gamer tag.
Yeah, I know, and it's not a nickname.
Okay. All right, we're gonna move on here. The junglers starting out at their respective blue buffs. Pretty normal start for these guys overall. Cognitive does get the 2v2, and they are pushing in early on into that lane. So here we have Zine King also with the stun already ready here on Annie. Top laner trading blows as well. Chris level 2 first, and you see Richie Rich backing out because of it.
Yeah, so Annie's usually start W in pretty much all situations unless they're going into a lane versus a melee support.
Yeah.
In which case, you really want to start with your Q so you can get early harass down and bully them back. But because we see the stun swirling here, had to have started with that W because he had the stun ready before he was even level 2.
Or he went Molten Shield.
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
Very unlikely.
Best start ever.
Zemfira did start with the shield for what it's worth, so wasn't even looking to push that much. Zemfira, like with the Lulu, just saying, yeah, I'll have it for the instant harass damage, but otherwise not doing a ton with it. I do want to see how AP Lulu ends up scaling up because Whimsy's going to haste more. Pix itself has an AP ratio, so the damage and auto attacks will go up. I haven't been keeping track of his builds. I want to see if like Nashor's Tooth becomes a build and he's sort of like Kale. Because she has a good attack range and his AP ratio on the passive as well as Nashor's Tooth, I could see it.
Yeah. And he pairs really nice with a jungler like a Mumu, who at this point is making a move mid. See if we can get a flash here. Holds onto the bandage and, you know, the speed boost gets her away. But I was going to say he pairs pretty nicely with a Mumu, the auto attack shredding magic resistance.
Yeah, that'll be a fun one to look for. Getting the damage amplified. Nothing here in Zane King. I think it's Zine King. I've heard both. I'm gonna get that one wrong over the time of this game.
I'll go with Zine.
Zine King?
Zine King.
All right.
Oh, so repeat visit. Even though, you know, he didn't burn a flash, he really wants to try. If you fail once, Freak, try again.
Not much mana. Pops the shield, has to flash.
He got it this time.
There we go.
Second time's the charm. Get Suggle was going to be seen out by the old jungler ward right there. And Vi would have the advantage if he can land his Vault Breaker.
I'm surprised Ziploc didn't look for him there. He knew he was down in the bottom side jungle.
So Get Snuggled can make two choices. Since he knows that the Mumu's going for his double golems, you can either attack him at the double golems, in which case you're behind enemy lines, or you can try and gank before he finishes with his double golems and get the advantage.
Hook lands another here. Rooted in place. Half HP on Caitlyn. Lantern comes by as well. Doesn't take it though. Zine King takes one rocket to the face, but just a flash burn.
It looked like he wasn't even planning on ganking. He was actually headed back towards his own jungle, but Batosai lands a good hook to set that one up.
Yeah.
And made him come back to the lane here. That might be like baiting Get Snuggled into wasting some time because the lane is pushed.
Well, you're seeing, yeah, nothing going really here for Vi. She's going to recall back. Zamfira now. And you can see how far back Mercalicious is playing. He knows with no flash and a low mana bar, there's a lot of danger from a repeated Mumu gank. And with those wards timed out, he doesn't know where they are.
Yeah, at some point, you just go back to buy just so you can get a ward anyway, even if you're not low. But because there's a giant wave of ranged minions there that Zamfira has been building up, he does not want to give up that money. So he just waits his turn patiently until they get to the turret.
Okay, he's going to be pretty safe to last hit. Missing some of them, turret overkilling them, but otherwise getting probably the rest of these minions, I would guess. As a random note...
Oh, good guess.
Yeah, all right, you got them all. Okay. Yeah, they're high skill players. You got to kind of assume they'll get the minions here when you see them all full. As a random note, like, I don't think he did this, but if you go at least 5 points defense, you severely lower Lulu's harass on you because you're going to remove 1 damage per Pix Bolt.
Pix
So
and the auto attack.
Yeah, so you'll remove 4 damage from the Mastery when you normally remove 1.
Did you know?
Did you know?
That's a high quality did you know that
Yeah.
and many players will be able to take use of when laning against the mid lane Lulu.
Or bottom lane. It's not like people don't play Lulu in general. I recommend she jungles. You can watch the spotlight on that one.
Jungle Lulu, I have not tried that one.
It's not very strong.
No.
In the spotlight, I lucked into a double kill at like level 3 and snowballed. I didn't show that, but it was really strong and no one knew why.
So in your spotlight videos, how many takes do you have to do before you get a good one where you're like owning with this champion that you're trying to sell?
Usually only 1 or 2.
Okay.
Usually it works out all right. I had a game where actually we were winning so bad the other team surrendered, and I was like, guys, that was footage. And they're like, oh, I'm sorry, I really should have surrendered that one. Olaf took me 3 tries, though. I was a really bad Olaf player when I started.
All right, so the call down bottom here. A Mumu going for a gank. They know that the try was not warded, called out by the duo, but you can never be sure if it's warded up. Even further, what a perfect bait.
No flash, nothing here, but jumps over the wall. Here comes Captain Ziploc, and Batosai does have flash exhaust. There's the Mumu ulti, not enough health, not even going to burn a summoner. Who's going to get the kill?
Let's give it over to
Caitlyn
the
King.
AD, yeah.
He almost could have flashed that and would have forced a summoner out, I feel like. Probably not worth it even still. Richie Rich getting pushed out of the lane, minion kill deficit, and maybe a recall, because the thing is, he's stuck with like a big minion wave in front of his turret.
That's an interesting proposition that you just proposed there for Thresh. Because Thresh, he doesn't really need his flash. Wow, Get Snuggled
Get
needs
Snuggled
one, though.
does. Gets over the wall, gets chased down. Nothing here, 2 kills now. And Dragon's under fire. This is going to be Cogs.
We have a Renekton roaming down, though. So if they rush really quickly, since Amumu's out of mana, they could actually stop it.
Wow, you're right. I called that one wrong.
Chris
Admiral
comes to
Ziploc.
save the day.
Yeah, Chris saves the day. Gives time for Richie Rich. There's going to wave clear this pretty quickly and catch up a bit in minions. One more. There you go.
Now, the reason I say Thresh doesn't need his flash as much as other supports is because he likes to play far back in the lane anyway to throw a lantern. So if he's just a little bit further behind Jinx, then she can sort of block the Amumu bandage when it comes in, and he just has to play far back, then throw her a lantern. But that's all very far in the past now.
Yep. Doesn't burn it anyway. Gets out. See where it goes from here. Gets snuggled. Level 6 right now. 8.5 minutes in.
Look at this.
The ultimate available.
Look at this Richie Rich over here, though. He's saved up all his cash money and decided to buy a straight-up BF sword on that back. So it's going to do a lot to embolden him. It buffs his shield up quite a bit. AD ratio on that one, still very strong, even though the duration is low.
And blue buff going to be given away. So yeah, he's going to be happy with this one, just the higher power shield. Lulu gets the blue without getting stolen. VVV did know about that attempted take, but didn't get anything for it.
That assault and battery, burning a hole and get Snuggled's pocket right here. As soon as you get that on Vi, you want to use it. You just you want to get off your very high impact early gank, and he's looking to make use of it while he's got the red buff on.
He looks top lane for him. He couldn't find mid, but this is not too good for Richie Rich. Starting to take a little bit of damage. The jumps are down. There's a stun coming in. He gets going to land the Q.
Oh, man.
There's the ulti in as well. Richie Rich does not have flash. He's trying to run away. I don't think he can, and goes down. Chris picks up the kill. 2-1 now.
And he dies with the large sword out as he pops his ultimate just before the last hit gets taken. That's going to also award them with full control of that top lane turret. And if they push back the turret and got behind it for the next minion wave. Wow, another hook. Every time we look down here, hooks.
Re-engage comes down, though. Frost Delicious taken low on health. Nothing here. Oh, he flashes the Super Mega Death Rocket. He's going to be okay for now. Ulti comes across. Matosai blocks that one. Thrash saving his AD carry right there. Close
Mid
fight.
lane is actually another battle here, Zamfira.
Oh my gosh, so much going on. Zamfira trying to run away, shields himself, takes the damage through the shield. The chase, great ult. He's going to lock back, get snuggled, and Zamfira safe.
Yeah, good timing on that ulti. Not letting Vi get another red buff auto attack down. And he even is able to defend that pink ward. It's only got 2 hits though. That sucker's not going to last very long. And even if it does, VVV already know its location, so they can work around it.
That's true. I feel like at some points you actually just want to leave the ward up and be like, we're not going mid,
Yeah,
and you jump over the wall.
Use your opponent's vision against them by baiting them into thinking what your plans are.
Yeah, I mean Vi can jump over Baron Pit as well as the little wall with that brush. Like she can get into the gank paths.
Yes, she can.
I want to see if we see that. That'd be cool. We'll see. Last hitting on a turret. These guys holding up despite the weird kills and deaths. Minions are fairly equal here. It's just Caitlyn has got so much cash money. Basically, Zerkreeves up on her opponent.
Now, starting out with the, speaking of boots here, the Sork shoes for Zamfira. The early rush Sork boots is the first step in your AP Lulu mid build.
I didn't know that.
If you are watching.
Well, here we go. Matosai getting dropped down, half HP. Amimo comes across after the flash, but that is not good for Thresh. Goes down anyway. 3rd kill in a row to the bottom lane. This one is going to go to Annie.
They're going to keep on pushing here too. It's Vi waiting in the wings, but even so, they can get some good turret damage because Caitlyn's got that great auto attack range. So does Annie.
Well, Lulu's coming down. They're going to force one. Flash stun into Frost Delicious, trying to go down. Vile trying to save his life. Lulu's going to land the damage. Nothing here picks up another one. 3-0 in 1. Admiral Ziploc holding Turret Dagger. One more shot. Going to walk away. Goes to Zamfira. He's going to be safe. Double kill now. 4-0 in 1 for nothing here.
The Lulu Sork boots also roaming, so making use of the speed and the magic penetration there. This game is really rolling away for Cognitive. It looks like a bit of an answer roam, and the last 2 hits of the pink ward do actually pay off, and they alert Richie Rich. So there's no answer from Oriana for the early Lulu roam.
Well, that is a unfortunate situation now for VVV White. They don't catch much of anything. Turret goes down, and it's interesting because we were talking about the Lulu builds because I want to keep pondering this. I'm surprised you're going for Magic Pen build because half of her AP ratios are not offensive tools. She only has 2 offensive ratios, or I guess 3. Q, passive, and half of E. And 3 defensive ratios that literally can't benefit from Magic Pen. And says, well, no, I'm still going to go for the Magic Pen Bursty build.
Well, it does help with Amumu too. Since Amumu's going to shred them first, he can get down to true damage.
True.
If he goes straight flat penetration, because there's no early magic resist except on his lane opponent. So whenever he does roam, he can get true damage on an 80 carry.
Oh, and I actually remember I have seen this build before. I believe he goes for an early Leandri's Torment. Because there's only so much AP offensive scaling anyway that because Glitterlance applies a slow, it'll double the damage because they're CC'd. And he gets a lot out of that one. We'll see if that actually ends up being the build, but I have seen this at least once before. See if you're pushing out the mid lane, removes the minions pretty easily here. And we're just sort of seeing, like, Microlacio's not able to do much. He's actually being completely held back by this Lulu.
It looks like they're already making a move on the next dragon. Good preparation by Cognitive.
Down to half right there. We'll see no one really even answering. They know this is happening. They saw him go by some wards. Just doesn't even matter. Blue team picks up the dragon. Amumu last hits it without smite. That's how good he is.
It's not actually like a huge win for them, though, if Chris is able to take out that top turret. It looks like he's just leaving minion waves to die on it, though. He's not concerned about taking it early to answer. He still is in the phase where he can bully Riven. He's got to be careful about this, though, because there's more than Riven coming his way.
The team is coming, though, on both sides. We'll see what happens. Chris down to half, dodges the Q. He's going to be safe, doesn't get much out of it. Hasted away, blue buff, likely to go to Zemfira here.
And he was confident. We didn't get a shot of the turret health, but it was so low, the minions took it out anyway. And the global gold does end up evening out for that dragon. So not anything big gained for Cognitive by that play.
You know what I'm surprised by, though? So there's two things that kind of went in play here. So Chris denied, of course, a whole bunch of minion waves by letting the minions take it down. They don't die into the turret. It removes some gold from Richie Rich. But at the same time, the local gold for a turret kill, I believe it's 150 for the outer turret, went to no one because Chris wasn't there.
I really need to get a lock on that range so I can get used to it. But he was really far away, so there's no way he got it this time because he was all the way down at blue buff.
I think it's like roughly Caitlyn Q range. That would be like my rough yardstick from what I've seen from the game so far. Microlatios still under the turret. We just haven't seen this Orianna be effective. It was their last pick. It was their counter pick to the lane. Snuggle gets warded out. Not going to get to do anything here in the top side jungle. Ziploc looking around as well. Chris rotating down. There's people around.
So, you know when there's like 500 pings going off that there could be a team fight pretty soon because everybody's congregating towards that mid lane here, and all the ultimates are available for Cog. They've got ridiculous AoE initiate. I mean, we didn't really talk about the anti-flash into a Mumu AoE ultis, but that is a ridiculous amount of AoE here because Riven as well. Once you pop the sword, she can do a lot herself.
Definitely can. We'll see what happens with these guys right now. It's Riven back to the top lane to hold up some farm. They know about a 4v5 right here. If it gets snuggled, not going to go into this one, though.
So you're right. They're trying to take advantage of that opportunity without Riven being mid. But good job by Cog backing off as soon as Vi comes in.
So if you're going to tank the turret, 2 shots using the shield. Nothing here. A couple more attacks as well. Of course, Bloodthirster done for both these ADs, but the Zerkru's advantage for nothing here gives him just that extra attack speed for turret pressure.
Yeah, the extra 4 kills there really doing a lot for him. He's probably got a good amount of cash in his pockets as well as another turret goes down.
Very good start to this game. Cognitive making sieges happen, and what I like is not only do they have siege with kind of like Lulu, Caitlyn, I feel like are the 2 big players in the sieges, but their engage is so crazy with a Mumu plus Leona, or a Mumu, Lulu, Annie.
Yeah.
Like, they can start fights, they can siege, they can peel back. There's a lot that this comp does for these guys.
I do like the cleanup as well. Richie Rich, if he can come down here and pop his execute on top of all of the AoE stuns, like they don't even have a chance to move.
Wow, a Mumu ult burst, they go in on Microlations. Can Orianna fall down? 150 health, flashes away, Ignite ticket picks it up. Zamfira getting 1 so far. Now gets snuggled low on mana, does have flash, getting chased. Flashes the wall, chased by Ziploc, gets the stun. Zane King gonna stun as well. 1 more hit, double kill. Zamfira picking up money.
Yeah, he's showing why it's probably his favorite AP mid here. Doing really well so far. But it is a Mumu with the 100% kill participation. You know, I guess he's earned his Admiral tag that he's chosen for himself.
Yeah, he's got a really admirable performance so far, I gotta say. And one thing I gotta sort of question is...
I'll give you a little snort. You get a little snort for that one.
I get a snort for that one. I'll appreciate that. We keep seeing Cassian bans on red side, and we keep seeing mid laners play things that work really well anyway. Like, I'm going to keep questioning it because I don't really believe 100% bans.
Yeah.
And it's like, Zamfira's crushing on Lulu right now.
Yeah. I think like last week we were talking about, you know, how long does Cassian have to be permabanned before people let it slip one time? You know, they figure the other mid laners just hasn't played him in so long. I think it's upwards of 4 months.
Okay.
Then it might roll around. But I do want to point out, as we were talking about that, Riven walked through that tri-bush up where the pink ward is and just let it be. Don't know if he was scared of Renekton coming to stop him or if he was just not paying attention to where he was walking. A lot of times, you know, just look at the map where you're going and not actually where your champion is.
It's true.
Might have missed it.
You see that sometimes. See where it goes. Ziploc scaling up still, the Admiral. He's got 93 minions, 0, 0, and 7, so GoldenEye's happy with him. And he's going to get a Randuin's pretty soon. Gigantic tanky Mumu, the guy who's initiating fights, the only real frontliner here. And what I like about Kog's comp as well is, like, even though they've got a traditionally low damage mid laner in Lulu, they've put their top laner on Riven, who has really good damage late game, and is completely holding up, I would say, despite a bad early game, is holding up now to Chris Renekton. Will continue to outscale and is a big damage threat in fights.
And they've chosen the Caitlyn, who is great when you have all these AoE ultimates, because Amumu and Annie can lock down this VVV team for so long that Caitlyn gets to do what she wants. She loves just sitting in the back and auto-attacking with her Phantom Dancer builds. And if you can lock them down with any stun into a Mumu ult, into a Lulu ultimate, that's plenty of time for her to melt through the front lines.
Let's see what they can do with this one. Dragon coming up in 10 seconds. Ward control now important on this pit right here, but Cognitive really not sweeping wards away. The sweeping lens up soon for Zane King. Doesn't quite have it up just yet. Renekton looking forward. Chris taking some damage. Snuggle jumped on Ziploc. Will he go for the engage? Not just yet. A Lantern pulls him back, and there's the Timber Stun. Zane King knocked around. Oh, the Lulu saving him for now. Amumu coming by as well. No one's still dying. Chris will fall. 1 for 0. Richie Rich in the back line. He's going to trade back. Gets Snuggled. Going to fire back on this one. 2 for 1. VVV White doing well here. Ooh, not enough damage from the Caitlyn ult. 2 for 2 so far in this fight, but Tosai going to land a stun. I don't think he should have flashed for that one. Goes down, but the fight actually goes to Cognitive.
It does go to Cognitive in the end because they're able to grab the last one, but it started out very well for VVV White. They were able to stay so spread out that Zan King only uses stun to grab Jinx, and Amumu held onto his ult for a very long time, only grabbing the front line in the end because he was getting so low. He had to put it out before he died. But in the end, you're right. They got that extra kill, and that gave them control of Dragon area. So objective 1, and they extend their giant lead. It's looking pretty good there for Cog.
Yeah, everything fitting together pretty well for Cog right here. 10-3, up in turrets, up in dragons. These guys are making things work for themselves. I'm surprised they're not getting more turrets just because you've got like Caitlyn, Annie, Lulu. I feel like they kill turrets faster than this team is putting on, but they've been positioning very well for the rest of this map, though. They're not letting anything go to waste. VVV White, to be honest, haven't made a lot happen, and you talked about how good and sort of standard Orianna Vi is. Like, they can start fights, but VVV aren't finding them.
Yeah, so there's 2 things they need to worry about is, can they get that combo onto Caitlyn? If they can, then they have to be careful about focusing all their efforts on the dive, because Riven, as we saw in the last one, is looking to get around to the back line. Riven got over to Jinx last time, but it was a little bit too late in that instance. If he's able to get that a little bit earlier and any backup from the stuns, then it's going to be pretty easy to take down the main damage here for VVV.
We'll see if they can survive the engage here. Nothing here. Zamfira, Richie Rich, all up in the top lane. Looking to siege the 3rd and final outer turret here. Looks like they'll get this one uncontested. Good rotation by these guys. The rest of the team is grouped up, and VVV White looking down the mid lane. This is, I gotta say, a scary proposition for VVV White. They're behind, but they're looking for a base race, but Cog are ahead.
They're going to have to recall after they take that turret, because you do not want to give up an inhibitor turret against this team, especially. I mean, they're so far behind that you want to answer 1 turret for 1 turret. That's a great trade, but staying after the first turret's down and pushing another wave could cost you your inhibitor turret, which is ridiculous.
Well, it's a 3-man, soon to be 4-man defense. Frost Delicious staying there in the lane to push this one down, and actually, I gotta say, VVV White making a 2-for-2 turret trade and not losing inhib. Pretty well played by these guys.
4-man defense here has to be careful, though, because there's a party waiting for him over here in the bush.
Wow, that ward went down late. Yeah, I don't think it saw them go into the brush, but they still guessed where Cog went, and they kind of sniffed it out there. Jungle goes over to Cognitive, but still, I gotta say, VVV...
That was, yeah,
they got around that pretty well.
It was a really good call to bank on the Jinx auto attack speed. I would not have made that call myself, and they were able to make it pay off. Really nice choice, but they're still really far behind. It was only an even trade for them.
Yeah.
With how good of a choice that was, it wasn't
we went
a game.
even, yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's at least a small success, of course. The later the game goes, the less a 7,500 gold lead matters. Right now, though, matters a lot. So we'll see if they can turn this one back around. Zamfira sweeping away the mid lane. Of course, doing more and more damage with his picks. Actually, the passive does a lot more damage now as the champion levels up compared to before. That was changed a couple patches ago. I want to say 2 patches ago to scale significantly harder into the late game. So it's going to be fun to watch and see what happens there. I guess I'm wrong in the build. It's going to be Morella Namakan up next here for Zamfira. So adding CDR, not a ton of mana regen, relying on blue buff for that one instead. And maybe going towards Death Cap next is my blind guess.
All right,
here.
we'll give you a double or nothing on this one, Freak.
All right. That's going to be like Void Staff.
Lulu build guesses.
We'll see.
I mean,
Maybe
let's
it'll
see.
be,
A Void Staff, I don't see any magic resistance on the opponent's team that he would really be worried about. I mean,
Yeah.
Oriana's got her same magic resist that she's pretty much had all game, but it's not something to really worry about. I guess the other thing would be the Oriana shield put onto somebody.
Yeah.
Would give him a decent amount. But yeah, I think just a flat pen, probably enough here.
Okay, so my blind guess
Stick
is
with
Death
your
Cap.
stick with your first guess. Yeah, there you go.
Okay, we'll see where it goes. It'll be like Banner of Command, like Aframu.
So
Unlikely.
this is that siege that you were talking about, and how good it is with the Caitlyn Lulu. There's the hard engage though.
And put it slow. Nothing here in a horrible position. Has to jump over the wall. Does survive. Gets snuggled low on health. Great engage by Amumu. And here comes the damage output. One picked up. The rest of VVV White forced to run away. Chris in the back lane finds some damage, but Zamfira answering a bunch of kills. Another one comes up now. Giant team fight victory here for Cognitive. Can they clean up properly? You still got 4 people alive. Matosai gonna go down. Only one left. The ending is Chris. 4 versus 1 here. Great fight.
And he's looking to lure them off away from the objectives, but Cognitive are not going to take the bait. Just go straight up the middle. That will be inhibitor turret.
Wow, great stuff right here. 10 seconds till the revive, so not a lot of time still here for Cognitive. Will they overstay their welcome? Will they go for the inhibitor? They're looking for it here. Chris is there.
It's so early in the game. I mean, everybody's going to be back up, but only Chris is the one with his home guards. Everybody else is going to be a little bit further behind. And they get the inhib as well.
Chris is chasing. Not going to overstay too much. Get some damage and leaves. Okay. I was wondering if he could lock them up long enough. Like, if he had a Randuin's active, that could have done something, but wasn't quite there.
All right.
Here's that fight.
So, yeah, they started out with the siege, then the hard engage from Snuggled. Chris goes straight deep into the back line, but a 4-man Amumu ultimate gets everybody on the run. And talk about bloodthirsty Lulus. He gets a little bit deep there, but everybody on the run. They're able to clean up all the kills except for Chris here. So definitely worth it. Really like that Amumu 4-man stun. Got to shout him out. Well played. Chris tried to do the same thing as Renekton going to the back line, but since he can't CC everybody, they just kind of kited him around and chipped away at his life.
Kind of worked out overall. Chris, unfortunately, not having a great impact on this game.
He almost was able to kill Zane King, but you know, since that Tibbers was used late on Chris, saved his own life with the stun. Yeah.
I actually got to say, Aframu's anti-game against, I want to say XDG, when he actually blocked a Mimic Sigil of Silence by putting Tibbers on top of himself, that was a really sweet play. I like that a lot. There's some good anti-players out there.
It was pretty good. Afro's had a lot of really good plays.
Well, here comes the jump on in. Another team fight starts, gets snuggled, not in a good spot. In the middle of the enemy team, Richie Rich dropping very, very low. Jumps on back. 5 versus 5 still. Snuggle's going to fall down. 4 versus 5 in this fight, but low health bars. VVV on the run. They're going to make it out, just losing 1. But that does give control over Dragon.
And also, since they're fighting so far out of the base, this means the middle lane here with these super minions is pushing into the base. Nice giant wave up top as well. Kind of buys them more time on the map. And since Baron is black for VVV White, they have no vision. This is going to be not only Dragon, but also the big boy over here, purple buff, coming down for Cognitive.
This is a pretty good thing here for Cognitive Gaming. 15-4 in kills, 27.5 minutes in. And this Baron is likely to be completely unanswered. Cognitive earning this off their mid lane inhibitor kill just a couple team fights ago. Going down without any contest. Zamfira last hitting that one like a boss. And of course, Smite just now came up for the Admiral. So that's all well and good, but gigantic now. 12,000 gold, putting Cognitive in an amazing place.
Yeah, I like that. Playing around creep waves with the giant wave top and super minions mid. Just contesting the Dragon cost them so much here. It's not like they weren't behind already, but that was really nail in the coffin right here.
Death Cap, yes.
All right, so you won your double or nothing.
Okay.
You're back up.
I'm back to
Nobody even knows that you messed up on the first one.
Nope, didn't even happen.
Except that we just told them.
Nope, didn't happen. Double or nothing. Everyone down there. Ziplock, by the way, Sork shoes, and you know, some more magic is coming in there, but he's looking for a little bit more damage there. Magic Pen boots, always fun. 0-1 at 14, I gotta say, it's a pretty great performance.
Yeah, I was so sad after the Amumu nerfs. I mean, Jat was actually the one behind them, so he specifically nerfed my champion. He nerfed not only the base damages, but also the ratios. So just kind of makes you all around sad. Building penetration or AP is a little bit less successful than it was before, but still a good option because you want to have a high impact, even as a tank.
He's likely to have it here. Bottom lane now under fire. Mid lane inhibitor likely to respawn soon. Chris blocks an ulti. The siege has begun. Red elixir picked up on Caitlyn. Blue elixir there on Lulu. And they're going for the siege with Baron buff.
So I guess, you know, lucky for VV White, Caitlyn hasn't completed her Infinity Edge. If she does go back here with her legendary status, then she's also going to tack on some giant crits to this. But Baron buff is probably going to be enough for them to worry about.
And the engage comes in. Ziploc locks up 2 right there. The dive on in. Ziploc still taking all the turret damage. Snuggle going to go down very soon. Low on health. The back line staying alive so far for Cog. Zamfira forced to run away 1 for 1. The Amumu does fall. But there comes Richard Rich trying to pick something up, but he's going to fall down for his troubles. Not going to get much out of this when the chase still on. Zamfira finds one. Both teams losing top laners and junglers, but control there for Cog.
10 kills now here for nothing here. He's got his Infinity Edge, that's for sure, when he goes back. I wonder if he's going to grab a defensive item, because I don't feel like he needs to. Just go pure damage and rely on all that AoE CC that we talked about, because the Vi Orianna combo that I thought was going to be targeted at him just has not had a chance to have any effect.
No, Richie Rich is playing so aggressively that he's forcing the vials onto himself. Because Snuggle goes down to half HP when the fight starts and like just has to burn buttons on somebody and finds Riven.
Best feeling as an AD carry when your front line is so threatening that your opponents don't even use their CC on you, and you just get to auto attack from back.
Yeah, so that 0-3 and 8 score for Richie Rich, I say he's playing better than the score shows because he's just tanking all the aggro. I like that. I like that. Thank you, frontliners, for tanking for me by being squishy. I appreciate that. Do that more on live, please. I want an easier time. I want to have a great score like nothing here has.
All right, so if we look at the end game plan here for Cog, double exposed inhibitors should be a pretty easy fight for them to take, as long as they just keep up the exact same plan. They don't want to play too aggressive till Amumu gets his ulti back, but they do have the Annie tool, and VVV White cannot have timed that Amumu ult so closely that they know it's down. So you just play like it's up and have Amumu on the front line anyway.
Well, it's not looking good right now for VVV White, though. The ulti is back available. Every spell that really matters
there
here. Ziploc finds one onto Microlation with a lot of damage there. Almost executed, but jumps out of this fight. Again, the dive in onto Riven. Richie Rich drops dangerously low. He's going to fall down. First kill of the fight, but the chase now in. Caitlyn picks up one. Zamfira forced back, but control over the inhibitor is here. 1 kill for 1. Top laner's dead. Fight re-engaged does not quite land the hook, though.
All right, beautiful job. As soon as the Amumu ult comes back up, he instantly goes for it, lands the bandage, and 2 inhibitors down is a really easy situation to push on Nexus turret because, you know, both super minions buffing each other, and really all you have to do is stay and clear waves. But without Richie Rich, they don't want to put their good record at risk.
So it's, you know, we'll see. 11-0-4, 18-7 in kills. Gotta say, Lulu, gigantic threat now. Deathcap, Void Staff, Merlin Omicron, double pen items as well. And, oh, Scumbag. Nothing here, just forced to stop the recos. I guess I stopped on purpose now, but he aggroed the Wraith and moved, and he just hit someone.
So, bush camping, highly successful when you're behind because the enemy team are going to be pushing all over and they have a tendency to spread out and try and get more gold by having, you know, multiple people farm different lanes. But when you're ahead, your opponents are already playing super safe and they're very cautious.
Yeah.
So bush camps like that, when there's no objective up that you're camping around, not a very high success rate. You have to have like a Baron or a Dragon or something at least for the other team to come out for. You need some sort of bait on the end of your hook.
Yes. Well, Dragon comes up, and I don't feel like VVV White will contest it.
Not a big enough fish there?
No, it's not good enough bait. I just feel like there's not even a chance they can fight for it. So VVV just farming their own minion waves for now. You've got mid and bottom both flooding in. Top actually about to flood in as well and get reset here by Microlatios. So Cog are going to get their Dragon, but they're not getting gold or XP from many other places. They got to keep it going here.
If we do keep playing it so slow, though, they might have to kill another round of those double inhibitors. Yeah, it seems like they're just trying to play it super slow. I mean, this is a ginormous gold lead, actually, for COG. So they just want to play it extra safe, I guess. And if you do dive and you mess up something at this point in time, then it's timed really well with the respawn of Baron. So I can kind of see why they're playing safe. The one way for you to throw away this game is to do a very deep dive to get aced and then have a retaliation Baron. That's exactly what VV White would love to happen in this situation.
Okay, so the next 30 seconds till Baron respawns looks like it's being spent setting up ward coverage. You're seeing the entire team sit in the top jungle, take a bunch of brushes. They've got 2 sweepers up. One of them's been used. Wards come around all around this place, and they're looking in a very awkward spot that no one ever stands in.
They really, really want to play the vision game, even being so far ahead.
Ooh, good jump away there by Snuggle. That would have been a catch and a kill. So now mid lane swept away, and COG's like, all right, Baron.
They are going to force a recall here for Vi. So that's the jungler going all the way back to the fountain, and this should be an uncontested Baron. Because they've put sort of the fear into VVV White of bush ganks since they've been doing this so often.
Yeah.
It makes them, I guess, less likely to check it. Now, what you can do is pick up one of the blue trinkets. Then you don't have to get that close, and you can check it from afar.
Hey, man, TSM picked one up. They beat Cloud9 with it.
Yeah. Wow.
50% of all Cloud9's losses come from blue trinkets.
Exactly. Blue trinkets are the key to victory.
Yep. But it was a good choice to get rid of Fiddlesticks. I gotta say, it was a nice one.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what we got here. We'll go for Blitz too. Anytime they're trying to do, it would actually do a hard counter Fnatic basically.
Exposed inhibitors up now, so we might see a rotation mid. Probably make that call to just go for the easy lanes here.
Let's see what we got. Mid lane getting swept out. Baron buff, Elixir's on. Looks like I'm actually gonna guess that's gonna be Frozen Mallet for Caitlyn if she completes that item off the Giant's belt. That's my blind guess. We'll see. Jump in. Admiral Ziploc finds one. Frostlash is forced to jump away. Only needs the Lantern, though. That's an amiibo for not much. Will this team stay for the siege, though? Chris jumps forward, gets rid of a Banshee's Bell.
If there's a time to go for it, it's now.
Engage. Not going to land the stun back on into the front line. Pretty well kept out, though. Zyking knocked around, gets snuggled in the front line. Richard is trying to get back there. Not getting very far, though, but it will be get snuggled going down. But Tosai on the bottom side dropping as well. Chris, not much health left on him. Stun does not land again, but 3 kills now picked up. Frost Delicious low on health and picked up 4 for 0. This surely is the game for Cognitive.
Yeah, I mean, if there was time to go, that would definitely be it. Amumu ultimate's down. Try and make your play. Good attempt there from VV White, but game 1 definitely going to go over to COG pretty handily.
12-0 and 6 Caitlyn, 2-0 and 15 Annie, 0-2 and 20 on Amumu, 8-1 and 10 on Lulu. Just a lot of amazing performances here by Cognitive. The team worked together, putting a good team down, 1-0 in the quarterfinals.
Every time I've seen Nothing Here play with this team, he's had a really good showing as AD carry. I think they need to focus more for the bottom lane here. VV White might want to call in some jungle ganks, get some airstrikes going down there, try and even things up.
I gotta say, like, the amount of camping that came down from Amumu, every ultimate sent to the bottom lane. They roamed Zamfira's Lulu down there as well. I mean, COG put some serious emphasis on that bottom lane. They got it ahead themselves. You're right, VVV. Vi, the jungle, didn't seem to do quite enough. We've seen some games where junglers can really snowball the lanes. This didn't happen here for VVV. Happened for COG.
Yeah, and as well, the Lulu pick, a lot of teams ban it against COG. Might want to pick up on that strategy because it was successful again this time around.
Yeah. I want to see what else happens, though, because even if you ban Lulu, I mean, no one fights against, mid Lulu. No one fights against mid Kog'Maw either, and that was still there waiting in the wings to get
Challenger teams do because they scrim against COG.
if they do scrim against them, they'll know it. But still, it's the kind of thing where you've got to be concerned. There's an awkward champion pool that you don't normally know about.
Yeah, AP COG or Malzahar. Hoping for one of those two.
Hoping for Malzahar, too. We did see it in the summer split. Snoopy played it in the jungle for EG. That was fun. It was AP Malz, not AD Malz. I was hoping for that one. But it's fun to see those come out, and we'll see what happens here in the next game. Guys, we've got to take a quick break, but when we return, it's time for Game 2 between VVV Gaming White and Cognitive Gaming. Don't go anywhere. The 2014 North American Challenger Series will be right back.
I remember way back then.